take a ride on Tony the Pony. Come take a ride on Tony the Pony. Please take a ride on Tony the Pony with Mr. Pineapple. Oh yeah, it's Mr. Pineapple's Wonder Hour.
Merch stores coming. Well, they're already there, published for everyone to give us money.
No,
One of them
to buy merch.
to support the podcast, because we can't keep going if we're not getting money. We need better equipment.
If we don't get the t-shirt money, can't afford the chocolate for Mr. Pineapple's mousse that he needs to eat while we're doing the podcast.
We're all
I know,
just
you can hear him scraping it. There's clearly
There's
he
no
needs
left.
more. It's running out.
Moose.
we've got no equipment. We're all just sat around a tape recorder right now, socially distanced.
You're wearing a wire. Get him.
Hello and welcome to Mr. Pineapple's Wonder Hour, the show where we talk big pineapples, small pineapples, hairy pineapples, and everything in between. I'm your host, Tony the Pony, and with me as always is the one and only, the incredible Mr. Pineapple. How are you?
Pause for applause. I'm alright, mate. Tired. Shouldn't have stayed up playing fucking golf.
No, we shouldn't have.
But such a good game.
Mm,
It's addictive.
only a tenner. I mean, it should be free, but
Yeah, I'm alright.
yeah, good. Well, we're joined, aren't we?
We are.
By
By
two
a tether.
geezers. What?
Yes.
The analyst joins us today. How are you, the analyst?
I am okay. The analyst is okay. I feel weird saying it. Why did you have to say it? It sounded so odd. When you said you were joined, I just imagine you're like conjoined twin, but by the testicles.
Oh,
So you share a pair. Like one ball is like into Mr. P, the other ball's to Pony. I feel like Stuck on You would have been a better film line.
It's a good film.
we'd have interesting
Good.
kids.
Could have been better. No, they have separate penises. The balls are linked to their own penises.
Are we?
They just share the nutsack.
Do we face each other constantly?
Yeah.
We like
you're...
scissoring.
No, you're like stood face to face with the nutsack swinging between. A bit like the bridge scene from is it Indiana Jones? Where he like hacks at the bridge.
Right.
Yeah, so Indiana Jones would be stood on your sacks, and you'd have like special trousers with like a tube between the zips where your nuts would swing.
Nice.
Obviously, over the years, they're much more malleable than normal nuts because they're being slightly pulled constantly. So it's like, you know, when tribes use rings to extend the neck.
I've
Hello.
thought about
I'm
this.
I'm the dominant testicle in this scenario.
I'm
Sure.
happy to be here.
And we're also joined by Grandad Dick. How are you?
Old and tired.
Old and tired. Classic Grandad Dick.
He said his catchphrase.
My bones hurt.
How's your wrinkly cat?
Not wrinkly. I don't know where you get this from.
It's definitely wrinkly, isn't it?
I'm going to send you a penis. What?
Oh,
A picture.
What's in the bar?
It's like the horse's head, but it's a cockhead instead in your bed.
A
Jesus.
cockhead. Oh my.
The rest is under the duvet. I'm learning After Effects. We can make this happen.
We do have a gimbal to get some tasty shots.
Jeez. Right, let's start the episode, shall we? Hairy Pineapple. Mr. Pineapple isn't doing it this time.
I've had a week off. It's
He's had
glorious.
a week off. Grandad Dick's coming to take your job, mate.
Yeah,
As long as I still get paid.
In snacks that I buy for you all the time for some reason.
well,
Anyway, Grandad Dick, take it away.
I watched Willys Wonderland this week. Nicolas Cage. It's definitely not a Five Nights at Freddy ripoff at all. Don't worry about that. I mean, one of my notes does say in here. No, it's gone now. But it's definitely a Five Nights at Freddy ripoff.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it is.
Well, that were a quick 360 on that one.
I was trying to just gotta get that twist in there. Every good podcast needs a twist. But no, it's. I mean, it is. They are definitely cashing in on the Five Nights at Freddy's success. I'm surprised they've not been sued over it. To be honest, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. Like, it's one of like my favourite Nicolas Cage films now. Which surprisingly, spoilers. Am I allowed to talk about what like stuff that goes off in the
Oh,
film?
yeah.
Nicolas Cage doesn't utter a single word. He's got no lines in the film. He doesn't say a thing. He
Jesus.
just grunts angrily while killing animatronics.
I mean, I'm sold.
Because the whole thing is obviously like they've got these evil animatronics because there's basically child murderers who live in this little, used to live in the restaurant and lure kids in and murder them. Completely rip off of Five Nights at Freddy, pretty much the entire story. And then they get found out, but rather than letting the police take them, they do this like little suicide demonic ritual, and they get their souls put into the animatronics. And then they wake up and feed on. They go out and kill people, and the townspeople have made a pact with them of, "We will feed you," air quotes, "if you leave the town alone." So Nick Cage rolls up in his, is it a Mustang Camaro? A muscle car. He gets his tyres spiked. They're like, "Oh yeah, we'll fix your tyres. Just go off. Just spend the night cleaning this restaurant. We're going to reopen."
Whoa. What do you mean? What do you mean? Who tells him to go and work in this restaurant for the night to clean it?
The guy who's going to fix his tyres.
Why?
Is that as payment for the tyres?
Yeah, it's payment. It's like, oh yeah, it's going to be like $2,000.
So
$2,000.
Yeah, but it needs to be in cash, and there's no ATMs in town. And he's not got cash on him.
So he's a
Classic.
restaurateur and a mechanic.
No, the guy who tells him to fix the tyres is like, if you go and do this for my friend who owns the restaurant, I'll do it.
Right.
Unfortunately, he's not that much of a philanthropist. But so he basically goes and gets given this shirt, starts cleaning. There is so much. One of my notes on this is where is it? Half of my notes have disappeared. I swear. But yeah, he just cleaning all the time. Just there's a lot of just him. That's why he probably didn't talk. I think they paid him to do so much, and he's like, "I'm not talking and doing all this cleaning." It's surprising the amount of cleaning he does.
A lot of cleaning.
Yeah, and then there's a weird bit where he cleans off this pinball machine. See, every 15 minutes he goes on break. And when he's on break, he like drinks an energy can and plays with this pinball machine. And it's incredibly sexual. He basically finger bangs. At one point, he's fingering the buttons on the side, and it's it's a brilliant little film. I know Mr. Pineapple would like it because one of my notes here that is still around says Mr. P would love it. Lots of odd camera shots and arty shit, which I know that gets Mr. P hard.
And you throw Nicolas Cage in there as well, and
yeah, having sex with a pinball, and there's a bit where he dances near, and it's like really all. Obviously, people can't see me dancing, but it's
a beautiful dance.
Yeah, he goes, and there's all these group of kids who are going to burn the place down because of some reason.
because teenagers.
And they break in to try and
Teenage
save him, but he has literally no interest. He just stares at them, and then he goes back to cleaning while killing all the animatronics. Because the whole basic premise of the film is, and she says it. You're right there, Phoebe, analyst.
You said that he just carries on cleaning while he's killing them.
Yeah.
Well, surely would he not just kill one and fuck off?
No. I don't.
He's got to get his tyres fixed, doesn't he?
It's incredibly
It's
fucking.
Nick Cage. He could stand on a street corner and earn that $2,000 in a night. It'd be fine.
It's an odd one. Like I want to know more about his character because like he starts cleaning and then the ostrich animatronic's just like walking up behind him. He turns around and it's like staring at him and blinking. It's like, "I'm gonna eat your spleen," and then like he just rips it to pieces with his bare hands, and then just goes back to like he cleans up the mess he's made. Tries to put the animatronic in the rubbish outside, but the door's locked, so he just leaves it by the door and goes back to cleaning.
And these kids set the place on fire.
No, they want to set the place on fire, but one of them's like, "We need to go in and save him. We can't set him on fire." So they go in, and she says the line, which basically explains the entire film of what the whole point is of. He's not trapped in there with them; they're trapped in there with him.
Slam my head against the table.
It's a classic line, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but the kids are like. They start off being really, really smart. Like, yeah, no, I'm not going in there. We'll all get killed. It's a bad idea. This is a horror film start. And then as soon as they're in there, one of the little girls and the bloke was like, "Yeah, I'm definitely not going in there." Fuck off to another room to have sex.
Wait, did you say little girl?
Not little girl. I don't know if I meant little girl.
Be careful with that word, Jesus.
No, a fully matured lady. Key thing. And they're fucking in this other room, and then like at one point one of the animatronics turns up and he's just like watching them, and then she's just riding him, and then they're all like, "Maybe we shouldn't be in here, there was the animatronic," and he's just like, "Nah mate, ride my dick." And then funnily enough they get murdered by the animatronic after about 10 minutes of arty Mr. P sex scene kind of stuff.
Is that the blonde lady?
No.
That's a shame.
I think she gets stabbed, I think.
By penis?
No, by a sword.
Oh.
I think maybe. But it's I would like, as soon as this COVID stuff's over, you need to come over, and I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray because it's great, and we'll watch it.
The analyst just doesn't want to spend time with us.
Can we not watch something good? Because that does sound like the worst film I've ever had
It's
described to me by
cheesy
anybody.
as fuck.
Oh, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if you go in not expecting Con Air or Face Off or like proper good Nicolas Cage film, it's exactly what you get, exactly what you hope for, and like a really cheesy shit but really good film.
We're just gonna do a Nick Cage marathon,
I mean, I'm down for that.
and it's just this film 5 times in a row,
Yeah, I'd do that.
so we can get all the nuances of the story and the dialogue.
Go through it frame by frame, break it
Create a
down.
PowerPoint presentation and present it to the world.
Bloody brilliant. Oh, there's the huge rip of FNAF. I just couldn't read it earlier. I'm blind. Comes with being old.
So,
But yeah, I'd highly recommend it. 5 out of 5.
Jesus.
If the film is what it is, and it does exactly what it does.
That's what it
perfectly.
is.
It's not trying to be like Leonardo DiCaprio Oscar bait. It's genre, that horrible B-movie genre thing, done perfectly.
Fair enough.
I'm sold.
You're sold on anything. Fucking hell.
Yeah, if that sells it to you, then God, my lord, we can get into what go.
Small Pineapples time. Trailers. First trailer, Army of the Dead.
He's back in zombie territory, isn't he?
He is, isn't he?
Zaki boy.
A lot more colourful than Dawn of the Dead.
And it's got Batista in.
I didn't recognise anyone else.
Yeah, same.
Just Batista shooting a lot of zombies, which could be fun, I guess.
I feel like nothing happens in the trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
nothing happens.
No.
It's so weird. It's on for like 2 minutes, the trailer, and nothing happened. But I'm interested to see what happens. So it's
Same.
done a good job. It's like a lot of trailers show you this is the
Everything.
beginning, this is the middle, and this is how it ends. You're like, oh, well, I don't need to watch that film anymore. Thank you for saving me 2 hours. But this is just shoot, 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 zombie shot. Shoot, 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 wider zombie. Shoot, 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 purple tech.
Yeah, there's only one line in the whole trailer as well. Saying Las Vegas, though. Is it
Yeah.
going to be as good as Resident Evil Extinction?
Probably.
Nothing's as good as that, because that's the greatest thing in the Resident Evil franchise.
With that trailer, sorry, Mr. Pineapple.
I believe the plot of the film is they're having to go and rescue someone, and they're like, shitload of money in there, aren't they, mate?
I was just about to ask about that.
Let's
What?
get some.
If there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm assuming paper money is probably useless.
Yeah.
No, it's because Las Vegas is like being sealed off. So there's
Oh.
like communities and shit, I believe, because I believe Las Vegas was where the outbreak is in this film, possibly.
Is it not like a carry-on from Dawn of the Dead, then?
I
Is
don't
it
believe
just-
so.
What's the point?
What I do know is it might be getting like a fucking anime series and fucking prequels and
Yeah.
books and all this shit already.
Insane.
But nothing happened. How can all of that be like scheduled and built when nothing's happened?
Who knows?
The power of Snyder.
The power of Netflix.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Too much
When
money.
we need to start a Netflix show. Everybody can get if they're getting one.
We do
we need-
greenlight everything.
Oh my god.
We
I
should
was
just do
gonna
a
say-
murder doc over. We kill Mr. Pineapple. And
No,
it's all
I've got
about
the
how he
perfect
died.
show. Is the dick really wrinkly? And then it's 8 episodes of us trying to figure out if it is. And then at the
And
end, we could get no conclusive proof.
Exactly.
Tune
And then
in
we've
for
got
season
season
2.
2. Perfect. I was going to say the
Beautiful.
exact same thing. I was going to say 8 episodes and leave it on a cliffhanger, which is exactly what I was going to say when you mentioned it. We're on the right wavelength here. We've got something.
Millionaires overnight.
Right, next trailer. Luca, Pixar's new film. Looks better than that Dragon one, doesn't it?
No, that's not Pixar though, is it?
It's still Disney though.
They're going with a different art style, aren't they, Pixar, for the like first time ever?
Mm.
It's not got the generic fucking... Oh, fuck Disney.
I was really interested with this trailer because I thought it was going to be something completely different to what it was.
Mm.
Up until he changes into a fish,
Mm.
I thought the story was going to be something completely different. I thought it was going to be really forward thinking for them for a change. I thought it was going to be about these 2 young lads who discover that they're gay for each other as they grow up and become adolescents. And I thought it was going to explore those kind of themes of like growing up in that, but with like animation and the style that people are familiar with,
Yeah.
and explore like a more adult theme and like serious theme, but then still make it like fun and Pixar-y at the same time. And then like them being gay, and then they turn into a fish, and it really threw me, and I don't want to watch it now
I mean,
because I
Mermaid
feel what
Man.
I made in my head.
why can't we have both? It might be both. Maybe them turning into a fish is like the euphemism for them being gay, and they just live in a bigoted town.
I thought they was brothers.
You're
Well,
gay brothers, gay for each other.
There's one thing I've learned,
Right.
especially from Paul Rudd, is that incest is cool. His parents are cousins.
Trailer. Wait, what?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wait, what's happening?
Paul Rudd's parents are cousins, aren't they?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they are.
Are we going to get done for libel? The views of Mr. Pineapple's Wonder Hour podcast.
He's a senile old man.
Allegedly. But always put that whenever you make these bold claims, GD. Say allegedly. His parents.
Allegedly.
Ooh, can't
next-
be done
Next
Well,
trailer, Mighty
It
Ducks.
looks alright, I think, this one.
Wait, well, right.
So on, we got sidetracked by incest.
Yeah, but
They are cousins, by the way, just in case you were wondering.
Are they first cousins?
Second cousins.
Oh, that's not
that's fine.
incest, is it? That's barely like you can walk down the street and not even know someone's your second cousin.
He's just not cousin lover material, then, is he?
Next trailer, Mighty Ducks. Why have you put this one on? I thought we agreed it looks shit.
Because it does, and I'm gonna watch the shit out of it, mate.
Why?
Because the Mighty Ducks were the plucky underdogs in the original trilogy, and now they're the bastards. And I want to know what's happened to them in the past 25 years to make them turn this way, Anthony. Also, Emilio Estevez is in it. He needs a payday.
You don't like hockey though.
He done.
No hockey.
Is he older than his character in it?
I don't know.
Because there's something wrong. His face looks weird. I
Oh,
can't.
that's
I don't
just-
know why.
That's just the Estevez gene.
It looks like they've put like a soft filter on him to try and make him look younger than he is.
I think he's
It
really
looks
old
odd.
in
It
real
looks
life.
odd.
Like his daddy, doesn't he?
It's strange, and I don't like it.
Isn't the plot of this basically Cobra Kai?
Yeah.
But Disney have gone, well, that's done well. Slap hockey on it. What
Put
IP
it
have
on
we got
ice.
that we can?
The plot is
put on it?
essentially Mighty Ducks 1, but with them being the villains now.
I've never watched my.
You need to watch the full trilogy, mate, so you can see that goalie's growth from plucky young goalkeeper to meth addict in real life now. You know?
I knew that was coming.
I like part of this where she's like shouting at the other parent, like, "Look at you brought 2 sports science coaches to your kids' training session, you jerk!" Like, well, actually, I'm a sports psychologist. Like, I feel like that is a lot of like American team sports is
Yeah.
really that way. So I kind of like well, we're going to do it our way, and it's going to be us just being crap together. Yeah, power to the people. But did I see it right that this is a series?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Does it need to be a series?
Yeah.
No.
Series of
No.
films.
Well, this could easily have been a film.
But definitely.
Very easy.
It depends how many episodes they're doing, I guess.
Too many because it's a series and it should have been a film.
You know how it's going to go anyway. It's one of
Yeah,
them
they've shown you
trailers.
the entire. Yeah, the trailer's shown you what's going to happen. I told you most trailers do that. You know.
Do you think Emilio Estevez is going to die just for fun?
Because it turns out that the ice rinks they're on are actually over a lake.
Yeah.
Of
And there's a
lava.
monster in that lake. And he has to go and save them all.
That's
And
why
he
he hates
becomes
hockey.
the mighty duck that he originally was.
And he
That's his
turns into a
superhero
dog.
Alter ego, yeah.
Oh,
He
nice.
saves everyone, but dies in the process, finding redemption in himself. I've just saved Disney.
MODOK. That got a teaser, didn't it? The new animated series?
This is a series as well, yes, I believe.
It looked funnish. Funnish is a word.
I love MODOK as a character, but I don't like the look of this.
It looks very robot chickeny.
That's
Yeah, I thought
but not funny. I also made the note. Why do I come on this podcast? Because I get made to watch this kind of stuff.
So many.
I
trailers.
really didn't like it.
Yeah, same.
I liked
I
it when he
really-
blew that guy's arm off.
I hated
It's
that.
like, nice.
I really hated that.
He thought the coffee was for everyone.
I really hated that. It's like a 15-year-old and his 10-year-old brother has written the comedy for it from the trailer. It looks so bad, and I don't like you anymore.
Oh, jeez. So we don't like MODOK. That's The Irregulars, Netflix's new Sherlock Holmes TV show.
I didn't watch this trailer because I
It's-
don't want to support you.
It's not really anything. It's like an animated thing.
Are you in it?
No.
Why have you included it then?
Because I'm in it.
Oh,
The actual
Just-
show, not the trailer.
Yeah, the trailer reminded me of like a CBBC advert for one of their shows that's coming out. Like, do you know, it's like starting next week.
Yeah. It was
Sherlock
very-
Holmes. It looks very much like that. It's like panning across a map of London and then fading into the map is like it opens up kind of, but there's no like proper effect on it. It just like appears like little clips from it. So like it opens up and it's like somebody saying something, and then it pans away to another part of the London map, and then it opens up again. It looks very CBBC.
Yeah,
They butchered the trailer.
I think
they
it'll be
did,
shit.
because it's got a lot of adult themes.
What's the show about?
So Sherlock Holmes hires tramp kids to basically solve his mysteries.
Slavery. Okay. Child labour laws weren't a thing back in the day, were they?
Well, Andy's like a proper drug addict, isn't it?
I imagine he'll be pimping these kids out soon enough then. That's what I'm getting from this show.
Season 2.
It's based on a book or something.
Sherlock Holmes. Yeah,
The
it's
Irregulars.
You know, when it comes, Jesus, when it comes out, you'll have to let me know which scenes you're laying down with a dog so I can watch them, because I don't want to watch this for various reasons. I'm just not getting into
I've got 2 dogs in that show. I'm a dog man.
Nice.
And I
I
grabbed
wanna-
someone's knife after he's just stabbed around.
I want
the
to
guy.
know the scene where you laid down drunk in the mud.
Yeah, so do I.
What if you've been cut from every episode?
Then I got paid nearly $1,000 for nothing. So
Great success.
Put it on your IMDb page.
it's crazy how much they pay extras.
I'd love to get paid for laying in some mud.
Yeah.
Sleeping with a dog.
I used to do that for free. In garden, few bebs, laying in mud. That were a weekend.
Right, some game trailers. Hot Wheels.
Just included this because I'm going to buy the shit out of it. GD sent me the link and I was like, I'm all over that.
I knew you'd be a fan.
I love me some Hot Wheels. I
There's
love
a-
me some Hot Wheels games. I liked it when it fell off the thing and it was like proper Ant-Man like comedy.
There's a scene in it when he's racing. I think for a short while, the person in first place is a little purple shark car, and I had that as a kid. It's somewhere in this house, and I love that car.
It's
So I'm
going to be
buying it.
isn't it?
Yeah,
It's 100% in loft.
yeah.
Up there in your loft, it's like when they open the tomb in Indiana Jones and put the light
Relics.
in and it goes down. Or National Treasure.
One day I'll let Mr. P in there.
You'll let old Riley and Nick Cage up in loft and have a look at that. I don't know the actor's name, I just know him as Riley.
Next trailer then. Sifu.
You
Kung
sent me the
Fu-y.
link to this. Everyone's just been sending me game trailer links.
Yep. I was like, Ryan's going to like this. It's Kung Fu, innit?
Yeah, I like the look of this. Mostly because martial arts and shit in it.
Yeah, the people that made this also made a game called Absolver. I don't know if you know about that.
Can't say I've heard of that one.
No.
Oh.
That was a martial artsy game.
Oh.
Emphasis on the artsy. I think you would have been a big fan of it. It's like really abstract, kind of like everybody's
Right.
like wearing these funky masks, and it's all like in like dust kicked up places, so it's all like kind of hazy and like wide shots and stuff.
Yeah.
And you like walk around beating people's heads in like non-stop. So yeah. And that was like lauded for having really good like fighting brawling mechanics.
Yeah.
So if they've ported anything from that across, it should be all right. The only thing with this one for me is there's a bit where in the trailer where when he's fighting, he grabs somebody's head and smashes it into a table, and that makes me feel like you can do a lot in it, but I feel like you won't be able to do everything that you'd want to do in it. I
Yeah.
feel like it's going to tease a bit too much, like, oh, you can do so much in it, but then you're going to be like, right, I want to put his head through this cabinet, and then like it won't let you, and you'll be like, oh, and it'll just be like kind of disappointing with
Right.
that because it lets you do so much, but not everything.
Is this coming out on PlayStation? Do we know?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Good, I'll be buying it then. And then I'll let everyone know how
It
good
was-
it is.
It was one of the trailers from the State of Play thing.
Ah,
Oh.
right.
That was a fucking.
Weren't great.
No.
Next trailer, Samurai Warriors 5. I just put this on because me and Liam are going to be streaming it when it comes out in July.
Nice.
Looks different to the others. Looks more centered around Nobunaga Oda and that other guy.
Classic Nominard
I was thinking like, whoa, that's definitely no Nobunaga there.
He's a big boy Japanese warlord, man. Come
Certainly
on,
is.
do you not know his Sengoku era?
I only know through
Dragon Ball
Dynasty
Z.
Warriors, and I never played Samurai. So Dynasty Warriors, say some names in that. I'll probably maybe know them. Samurai
on, you.
Warriors, no chance. Go on, Yuzo.
Big boy, innit?
I always played Dynasty Warriors instead of Samurai Warriors, so I never played this because when I went to Game Station back in day, went to PS2 section and saw Samurai Warriors next to Dynasty Warriors. Basically, I was turn them over. The back of the cases looked almost identical, so it was just a dips kind of like just go between them because I didn't know.
You want China
And then-
or Japan?
I just ended up going for Dynasty Warriors. Never played this.
Looks more cartoony though, to be fair. The art style's changed. But yeah, I'm ready for a good old hack and slash one man versus 1,000 warriors. You're alright there, mate.
Mhm.
And the last trailer, Pokemon Legend Summer Arceus.
Arceus. Depends if you're going to be soft or hard about it.
Is this like the next proper Pokemon game, or is it like a...
No, this is a Diamond and Pearl remake.
Oh, is it?
Kind of, yeah. It's set in their region, so where Diamond and Pearl is set, but it's in feudal Japan. So there's no... when you play Pokemon and you know how you get the different Pokeballs and stuff, like Great Ball, Master Ball, Super Ultra Ball, and all that shit, they're all made by a company called Silphco, but that company doesn't exist in this because it's feudal Japan. So all the Pokeballs are made out of, like, wood and stuff.
Yeah.
So they've all got, like, that texture to it, so it's all wood. And it's like an open world RPG, so it's a bit like Breath of the Wild, because I think it's part of the same team that made Breath of the Wild made this as well.
It did look very...
I got vibes from that.
So like you can choose how you want to approach it. So if you've got a bitching Pokemon that you want to fight with all the time, whenever you go up to and find a Pokemon, you can throw your Pokeball at it that's got your bitching Pokemon in it, and then it'll pop out and it'll like be like a fight, like quite a dynamic fight, where it's still turn-based, but it's not like cutscene break into a battle, finish battle, cutscene break, out of the battle. I think it's more fluid as you throw a Pokemon out, it starts kicking people's heads in and you pick which moves it uses and stuff. And then when you've finished, there's no cutscene back out. Or you can just sneak up on it, throw a ball back at someone's head and hope it catches it. So it looks quite interesting with that. And because it's feudal Japan, there's no Pokedex made, so they don't know what's in this region, basically. And that I think that's what they've said the story's going to be, you trying to discover what's in this region. So because of that, they don't know what the starters are. So I can't remember what the Diamond and Pearl starters were.
Piplup, was it? Piplup, the Tortola thing, and
the
Chimchar?
Chimchar, yeah. I use
That
Chimchar
sounds
on
right.
Pearl.
So they aren't the starters in this one. When you start the game, you've got to choose between Rowlet, which is an owl from the newish ones, Cyndaquil, or Oshawott.
Cyndaquil in it.
So they're your choices, because the professor went abroad to different islands and shit and came back with these. Like, that's where you can pick from. So it's not what's native to the land, and you've got to go out and find what's native. It looks very really early alpha stuff now, because there's some animations in it that are dog shit.
I was about to say stuff like that. Some of it looks like a bad fan game.
Yeah, the Bidoops are drawn, really. It's like it's been drawn from memory.
Hey, it's been a while.
Yes. He needs to be in a t-shirt.
Gets into double figures and they're around, mate. Kind of want an ice cream, man.
So they're doing a Diamond and Pearl, that thing, and then they're also actually remaking Diamond and Pearl as well.
Yeah.
They are on the Diamond and Pearl hype train.
Yeah, this seems like Mr. P's
Yeah,
time to shine.
Pearl's my favourite Pokemon game. I might have to buy something to play it on.
The thing is, I'm going to say it now, I've seen the trailer. I know this is a different trailer, but I've seen the trailer for the Diamond and Pearl remake. I don't really like how it looks. It just looks so like kiddie.
Pokemon.
No, I mean, like, it looks like a bad Harvest Moon. That's what.
I haven't seen it, so all I can comment is there's a lot of hiding in grass.
Yeah,
Classic
like I say,
stealth.
you can choose whether you want to stealth it and throw stuff at back of people's heads, or like run out and like go massive dragon and squash things and then catch him.
Nice. Let's get on to the news. Spider-Man. Motherfuckers. There were 4 title reveals. First 3 was obviously bullshit.
What were the first 3?
Phone Home, Home Wrecker, and Home Slice. The third one was the worst. Home Slice. And then we obviously got the official one, No Way Home, which isn't great as well, but I'm guessing it's referring to he's on the run because of how the last film ended, with Mysterio outing him as Peter Parker. Yeah. What do you think about the title?
Not a good one, is it?
Shit, innit?
The analyst loves it.
No, I'm not going to watch it either way. It could be called Spider-Man. You'd really like this one, analyst, and I'd not watch it.
Next bit of news. Ethan Hawke had the most annoying, fucking pretentious reason for joining Moon Knight, because obviously he doesn't like anything to do with superheroes. He said, a lot of it is Oscar to me, to be honest with you. I find him to be very exciting. I like what he's doing with his life. He reminds me of the actors when I first arrived at New York that I looked up to. So basically he's just really in love with Oscar Isaac, and that's why he chose to become the villain of Moon Knight, which is interesting. We like Oscar Isaac, don't we?
When you said Oscar, I thought you meant he thought it was going to just be Oscar bait. So Well,
I
at
mean,
least
it
you come out
might
and
be.
said it. Props to you for saying it, but yeah, if it's geezer.
Yeah, just another actor. I'd be a bit pissed off if I cast him and then he like, oh, I'm only doing it because Oscar Isaac's in it.
I'd fire Oscar Isaac. Like, get someone else. Fuck you.
Loki and Star Wars The Bad Batch got their release dates. Loki's coming out on the 11th of June. And The Bad Batch is coming out on May the 4th, obviously. Classic Star Wars date. Yeah. Bit of DC news. There's a Superman reboot
Another
in the
one.
works with J.J. Abrams. And they're expected to recast the Man of Steel with a black actor. Everyone's like, it's going to
Grandad
be
Dick,
Michael B.
Your turn to
Jordan.
jump in there.
You are?
What?
You got a problem? Grandad Dick.
Don't
No.
pull that face. Use your words. Come on. Don't just look disgusted.
All I'm going to say is, when are we going to get the Shaft series with Liam Neeson playing Shaft?
Called Taken.
No, it needs to be actually called Shaft.
It's called that one interview he did when he said he
I
was trying to
forgot.
kill black people.
So, in all seriousness, now, why can't they just write good new characters for people of colour or whatever?
That's what I said last episode, and I sounded very racist. But yeah, Michael B. Jordan, Superman, maybe work. J.J. Abrams, though, I don't trust him with anything anymore. Angel Manuel Sota to direct Blue Beetle. That might be how you say his name. You weren't even sure when you were giving me this note.
Yeah.
Blue Beetle, though, he's a cool character.
I can't say I know him.
He's a beetle.
Oh.
He's
Oh,
blue
really?
and he goes whoosh, 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 whoosh. That's about it, really.
Who's your favourite superhero analyst?
That's really broad.
Green Goblin.
Comic
Not
book
superhero.
superhero.
Who's your favourite comic book character?
Comic book character.
To make it even more broad.
Desperate Dan.
Classic. You like the pie that lad does.
Owns in
Who's your favourite Marvel character?
Marvel character. Probably Star-Lord, which I absolutely hate.
Deadpool?
Hmm?
Deadpool? They're like the only ones any Marvel films you've
They're
watched.
the only Marvel films I will watch, yeah.
Ghost Rider?
Um,
Spirit of Vengeance?
Ghost Rider, Dogan. Yeah, probably either Deadpool or Star-Lord, but I hate saying Deadpool because I feel like that's what all white women will say. And Star-Lord is similar, and I feel like that's what a lot of white lads would say. And I don't want to be either just like, lad, he's very good, but he's always listens to cool music at night. But they're the only characters I've actually watched, so it's got to realistically be one of them. Because everybody else is fucking dull. There's no
Yeah,
decent, there's no
first.
good character in Marvel. But everything that they've ever been put into has been shit, and there's no any kind of progression always gets undone, and there's never any jeopardy in any of the film because it all just gets undone anyway. So what's the point? And it all gets reversed. So it's all boring and dull. Comic books are probably better, but I will just not put the time into reading them. So they're out the window. You made me do this. You asked the stupid question.
Do you like DC better? Because you said Marvel in like
DC's
specifically.
even worse because they've
Oh,
got Superman
God.
and he's a dickhead. He's
Yeah.
the worst character that's ever
I
been
agree,
created
I
by
agree, he's a
mankind.
dick.
Yep.
Superman should never ever have been made as a character in like so many things that he's in. Like, yeah, have him show up in somebody else's shit for 5 minutes and it's like, I am God, I win, and then just have him fuck off again. He don't need to have everything ever, and everybody love him because he's just fucking boring.
On from this, the best Superman, right? And the way they just should have done Superman is One Punch Man.
See, One Punch Man's interesting.
Exactly. Make him interesting. Like, he's extremely overpowered, but most of the show's somewhat about all the other supporting heroes.
Yeah, it's like, how's this android man going to deal with this problem? It's like, spoilers, he done. He gets his ass handed to him. And then One Punch Man shows up and goes, one punch, saves the day. But then you're like, that's interesting. But then you're more like, oh, so what's happening with this android man now? Oh, he got his ass handed to him. What's going to happen with him in next episode? That's more interesting. And like, yeah, that's way more interesting. And the boys of it.
Ooh.
Would you like Hellboy?
Hellboy's alright, but I've only watched the 2 films.
They're the only ones you need to
Yeah,
watch.
the new one.
Yeah.
Shit.
I think I might have actually watched. Was there like a 3rd one released with him in it?
No.
No, did they do an animated one with Ron Perlman?
They've done a couple of animated films.
I've only watched the live action ones. He's okay. He's interesting. And his fish sidekick's pretty cool.
Hey, what a lad.
He's all right. He's interesting. It's just like some of the arbitrary things that happen with the characters. It's just like this this is like this, and then like they try and come up with shit reasons for it.
Yeah.
Or like, oh, and if you don't, then this bad thing will happen. Or like, it just feels really forced, a lot of superhero stuff, and like really arbitrary reasons. Because it's not grounded, obviously. Whereas The Boy is like, because it's shot from the other side, a lot of it's grounded because you've got perspective of that kind of character because we're people. And then trying to come up with motivations for superheroes feels really shit. It's like, just shit.
And on that note, the death section. It's not the normal death section for sure. Daft Punk split up. Rest in peace.
I was flipping off not where my camera was so you couldn't see it, and I was like, shit, need to move my hands.
Any Daft Punk fans?
I am.
Are you upset?
It's sad. I mean, I know there were people who were hoping for a last tour, but yeah, I liked another album, some good music, and the best film soundtracks in my opinion as well. Other than
Push out
Tarzan.
that. Jesus. What did Daft Punk do a soundtrack for?
Tron Legacy, banging.
Jeff Bridges is in that. What about you, Mr. P? Being a bit quiet?
They've released a few good songs, yeah. What's that one song?
One more time.
Yeah, that's alright, I guess I've heard of that. So
Yeah.
that means it's good, I guess.
Get lucky.
That's the one that was modern, probably, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
with Hatman. Swag hat.
Did you ever see the Interstellar 555 film?
It's safe to assume no.
It's they basically worked with a Japanese filmmaker and turned their album into
I'm sorry.
not French. Yeah, French.
French and Japanese.
No, I knew the film is French Japanese, and I was like, wait, no, Daft Punk aren't Japanese; they're the French one.
Right.
They worked with a Japanese filmmaker to turn their album into an animated film. There's no like talking in it; it's just like set to their album. It's really good.
So it's just a really long music video, right?
It's got a story.
It's that shit.
Have you seen the music video to One More Time with the blue people?
Yeah.
That's the film. That's that section of the film. It's really good. It's really arty, so you probably love it. It's one of those like, oh, this stands for feelings. You're like, oh, I'm just visibly annoying him.
You sold me on Willys Wonderland with your great words, and now you've just done this.
Anthem. That's dead, isn't it?
Wasn't it Dead on Arrival?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
What have they done? Shut the servers down as well?
Oh, that game.
Yeah.
That was released. I honestly didn't even realise it had been released. I thought it was still one of those E3 things where, like,
Oh no.
this is coming out in years to come. I've missed it being getting out there.
Yeah. We got released.
So that's how good their marketing were. I didn't even know where at.
It was released. It basically had no content to it, pretty much.
Yeah,
And
just
it was going to be a
you were there.
live service
that's
game.
about it.
Yeah.
Very bare bones.
Could fly around though.
Yeah, you can fly around like Iron Man, but it gets a bit boring after a while, doesn't it? That.
Like just cause.
Yeah, so they're not doing any more work on that, and they're putting all their efforts into like the fucking Mass Effect
Yeah.
and Dragon Age and shit.
Small move.
Is it BioWare?
Yeah.
They have got some really fucking sketchy, like their portfolio of games is Mass Effect 1 and 2. Oh, great. And then Mass Effect 3, and then just this shit on everyone with the ending. And then Dragon Age is turned into some weird shit. And they don't talk about Mass Effect Andromeda.
I bought that.
Fool.
David Fincher reunites
dead?
with. No, we're done with the dead people now.
Oh, right.
He reunites with the writer of writer of Seven for new assassin film, The Killer.
That's a shit name.
It is, isn't it?
The Killer's a great film from Hong Kong, though, starring Chow Yun-fat from the 80s.
Oh, Chow Yun-fat.
Directed by John Woo, so there's a lot of slow motion dove shots.
Nice.
People are akimbo-ing pistols, just firing off everywhere in this church.
Guns akimbo.
The Asian shoulder swing as they get shot several times.
Yep.
The trademark.
Well, I imagine it won't be a remake of that, sadly.
No. It's for Netflix as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Netflix. Because everything is these days. Fassbender's apparently being eyed for the lead.
Hey. What was the last thing he did?
Fuck knows.
Dark Phoenix, probably.
Oh yeah, he plays Magneto, doesn't he?
Mm.
Forgot about that.
Or one of them terrible alien films.
Oh, it's in like the Snowman or some shit. That like fucking shit.
Oh, murder
serial
mystery
killer
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't those horrible alien films?
Star Wars.
Prometheus.
Oh.
Alien. As in the
Hello?
Did you say that? Sorry.
So old.
I was looking up something about Chow Yun-fat.
Chow Yun-fat. What were we looking up about Chow?
Just making sure it was in that really good. I'm pretty sure it was in the
really
One of
good
his
Pirates
his
of the
best
Caribbean
film
film.
is definitely Bulletproof Monk.
Bulletproof Monk's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so shit, but it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I thought Hollywood was trying to make Sean Williams got an action star. Fast and Free. It was a weird time. It's in that, and Welcome to the Jungle with The Rock, and the same year.
Dave Bautista's making some weird career decisions. He's going to be in Paul W.S. Anderson's new film, The Lost Sands, with obviously his wife, Jovovich.
Oh,
Don't know what this film's about.
It's based on the George R.R. Martin thing, right?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because that's what I told you when I gave you the news story.
Oh, George R.R. Martin.
It's going to be
He
shit.
writes books slowly.
He's not writing them anymore.
Yeah, sure.
Is this for Netflix?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
It's not for Netflix, it's going to be for Hulu or Disney Plus in it now, so safe assumption.
Other Netflix news though. Terminator Anime.
Oh,
Are you ready, boys?
That's new.
With the Batman writer, Mattson Tomlin.
That's not a real name, surely.
It's not good, is it?
where's it going to be set? What's is it going to be about John Connor because he's dead now? What the whole
doesn't matter
Terminator?
when it's going to be set, does it? Let's be honest.
It does though, because they've got your proper good Terminator stuff, and then the last one they're like, actually ignore all that. We're killing John Connor while he's a kid, and now it's all about.
I did like it when
Vomit.
he shotgun that kid though. Oh,
Well,
it can be set whenever. There's no rules to this anymore.
that's the problem. Oh, makes no sense.
E.T. cancelled sequel.
Sounds interesting.
It included child torture and cattle mutilation. When I was writing this note down, I got them two mixed up.
Idiot.
A very interesting sequel.
I feel that's made for two very, very different age ranges.
Yeah, the family-friendly, beloved Steven
Yeah.
Spielberg classic, and then horror film.
E.T. with a vengeance comes down and starts lasering cows in half with his finger.
Destroy All Humans, the film.
Yeah,
Destroy All Humans. The remake came out, didn't it?
yeah.
It did.
Did no one buy it?
It's half off currently, I think.
I didn't even know it came out. Like when it came out. No, it was coming out, but
Down to about 20 quid, and I was looking at it like, I'm
mm,
going to buy this golf game instead.
it's one of them that doesn't age well, innit?
I saw it, I was like, I'll buy Evil Genius 2 instead. The full digital deluxe edition.
Oh,
Thank you. I missed out, though, on the Super Edition, where you get a statue of the main bad guy that you can play as, called Maximilian, and you get a physical, Evil Genius comic book. And it was only, 80 quid. And those ones with the statue and the comic book and all that kind of stuff, normally 100 and some.
Yeah.
And it was $80, so it'd have been even less, than 60 to 70, which is about every PS5 game. So,
oh.
I mean,
I
would
missed
have
out
loved
on
that.
the Tony Hawk's one, which came with the deck, and that was only 90 quid. which-
That's cheaper than the decks on your merch store.
I know, right?
We'll do a Mr. Pineapple. I've got my skateboard deck in this room. I'm looking at it right now.
Nice. Can I have it?
Signed by Bam and his parents.
Oh, boy.
Philip, his parents are nice. And Novak. He was on drugs at the time when he signed it.
Nice.
Catherine McAfee. I'm really, really rich old man. Welcome a son.
They do.
What?
This was Mr. Pineapple's news. Oh, I don't know why he's playing.
I wanted to include this after the ET thing, so I could say, speaking of wrinkly old things, and then talk about his old man dick.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Perfect.
You've got to have fun sometimes, Tony. You've got to have fun sometimes. Sometimes the news isn't very entertaining that we have to talk about. Yeah. He's really old and worth $150 million. She's really young and likes money. And now they have
Nice.
a baby. He has daughters that are older than her.
Jesus.
That's not good, is it?
You ever seen his dick, Richard?
No. Have you any pictures?
Looks
He
like
just
that.
has to look down, doesn't he?
Mirror image, mate. Mirror image. He's just got more money.
Nickelodeon are launching an Avatar Studios, apparently. Take it away, Mr. Pineapple. You know about this.
Nickelodeon are launching an Avatar Studios to create more content in that world. So there'll be new series and films and other nonsense.
It's good, though, isn't it?
Never seen it.
What?
I've seen bits and pieces when it were on ITV, however many years ago it were on there for a season back in the day. I've been meaning to watch it,
You just...
but then I just keep forgetting. And then I play golf games and stuff.
I watched the Korra one, but I've not watched the original one.
You know what's the original one?
Other than the secret tunnel song.
Have you seen the film though?
I have, but no. I was going to say, supposedly, from what I remember correctly, weren't Netflix are working on a live-action series of this?
From what I've been reading, yeah.
And the big news about this is that the two of the original creators were going to be on that, and then Netflix doled them off, and now they're involved in the Nickelodeon, so it's giving the fans some hope.
I'm a moron.
Why?
Did you think Avatar the Blue People?
I've just realised that we're not talking about that. Like, just. Oh,
Nickelodeon's made a big
Nickelodeon?
landing.
Yeah, why the fuck are they doing it? Why would they be doing it? They've not even done second and third films yet. Like, they're making them. They're not even done yet. Why are they doing more stuff in the universe? What? That makes a bit more sense.
Are you a fan of Avatar, the Last Airbender?
I've not watched any of it, looked at any of it. I've seen the guy's face, and I know that Korra's a lesbian because
she is.
that's all that Reddit talks about.
I might watch that now then.
Only the
That's
last
about
season
it.
now. Only the last season.
Oh,
Did she come out the last season?
She comes out in the last 5 minutes.
Last
Kisses a
episode.
mate.
I'm gay.
No,
Yeah.
She didn't even do that. She just walks off into a spirit world with this little lass holding hands, and that's the lesbian.
Because she's holding hands.
Yeah, so everybody just says, "Oh, she's a lesbian. Oh my god, it's so amazing." And that's all I know about it. That she's a lesbian, and then there's a bald lad with a blue arrow on his head who like swings his arms about.
Yeah.
That's my knowledge of Avatar.
It's good though. There's a new Rugrats.
I
got
mean,
many
the original
shapes of
voice
their
cast
heads.
return, isn't it?
Aren't they going to be like old now?
Probably.
So,
How time
I want to just make it clear. When they voiced the Rugrats, they weren't babies at the time.
I know.
So, are you sure? It's not mocapped or anything like that.
This is where Tony's been passing up all these roles that he's been given. Like, I'm too old to be voicing a 7-year-old. I can't do it. They keep sending me these.
That was fun. But yeah, it looks weird, doesn't it? 3D and that. And
So that's what kids like, don't they, nowadays? All kids' shows are like that nowadays. Like, when we were kids, back in our day, just slightly a few decades after Grandad Dick's days, all cartoons looked quite similar. Unlike, like, they're either like a claymation-y style stop motion stuff or like the 2D drawn stuff. So everything that's not like that now, when we look at cartoons, is like, that's wrong, that's weird, can't be like that. But that's what kids all like nowadays, isn't it?
yeah.
It kind of makes sense.
That's all they
Because
know.
it's not made for us. If they made something that looked like original Rugrats now, people would see that and be like, "Get that out of here, Mum! I hate you. I'm gonna just go on YouTube and watch these weird
Cocomelon.
videos of Spider-Man fucking Elsa."
Yeah.
So obviously they don't want kids to go and watch Spider-Man fucking Elsa on YouTube, so they're making it look like this for kids. That's mad.
Is there actual Spider-Man fucking Elsa videos?
That's all YouTube is for kids.
Oh no.
Spider-Man and Elsa have a baby.
That's
Homosexual.
Just see penetration.
No. But it's on like
Oh.
the kids. I think they might have started sorting it out now. But it was a massive problem like a year ago. And it's like all the kids' YouTube, like, because you can go on YouTube and set it for kids' YouTube or just YouTube. And on kids' YouTube, it was like people dressed up as superheroes, like doing stupid, over the top stuff. And then like Spider-Man would start like kissing Elsa and then like smashing his hips into her and stuff. It's really weird. Really
Jesus
weird.
Christ.
And the kids were watching it like loads and they were like everywhere.
Wow.
Mr. Potato Head is now gender neutral.
Grandad Dick, take it away.
I mean, they had Mrs. Potato Head.
I know.
It's wrong. It's wrong. Stop the presses. You've got your news wrong. Everybody overreacted to a branding change from Hasbro, and Hasbro has sorted it out, cleared it all up. He's not going gender neutral. Hasbro just want more money. So what's happening is they've created a branding umbrella called the Potato Heads, and under the Potato Heads sits Mr. Potato Head,
Okay.
Mrs. Potato Head, and Young Potato Head. I don't know what that one's called. I've not seen that one in the packaging. But there is still Mr. Potato Head and Mrs. Potato Head. It's just under the umbrella of Potato Heads. Because I saw that originally, I was like, just chuck girl bits in and just call it Mr. Potato Head. And if they want to put girl bits on it, put girl bits on it. It's not that huge of a problem. But then I actually looked at it a bit more, and Hasbro came out saying, whoa, we're not changing it. It's still called that. It's just like in the bottom left of the packaging, it says Mr. or Mrs. Potato Head, depending on which one you buy. And then the top right, it's got like slightly bigger branding with potato heads. Because then they can brand it all together and have uniform packaging that you like identify with and like, oh, I know that packaging, that's the Potato Heads packaging, and then you know where to go and buy it because you can see it from a distance and spot it because it's really bright and light blue, so it's like really, really eye-catching. So you'll be able to identify their brand from a distance and the full range in the brand.
That's quite smart, actually.
It is. But obviously people lost the shit because they just saw it Potato Heads and then him, and somebody I think had cropped the bottom out so you couldn't see the Mr. Potato Head thing. So it just said Potato Heads with him on it as like the normal one. So that's when
Fake
people went,
news.
yes, indeed.
Well, that sorts that one out, doesn't
Happy to help.
it?
He's
Lady
the analyst
Gaga.
after all.
He is.
What
Lady
we hired
Gaga.
him for.
Shut the fuck up. Lady Gaga. A dog walker got shot, and then she got a missing dog or something.
They're back.
Yeah. I know about
So
this one.
it's all back together. Happy
Yeah.
ended.
Have they got them?
We solved.
Yeah.
We solved it.
Yeah.
Like, the only thing I was looking about this was she was offering 500 grand for the Return of the Dogs, no questions asked. Fuck all offering for the, find the person who shot my dog walker 3 fucking times in the chest.
Did he survive the dog walker?
Yeah, they survived.
Yeah, but,
sadly, we needed someone dead in the fucking news section.
Does Lady Gaga's dog walker clarify? Is it clarify?
Oh, we would have
Qualify?
put it.
Celebrity adjacent,
You know.
Oh, well, that's that one done.
Another fake news. We're rattling through them now.
Mortal Kombat producer says we haven't seen all of Milena. I'm happy.
Nude scenes.
Yeah.
Nude scenes.
Is Milena the one
Is
with
that
the
what it
teeth?
means?
Yeah, but in this she's got grills, hasn't she?
Oh.
It's
I
not
want to
really
see
teeth.
a downstairs
I'm
with
hoping
teeth.
it means she's gonna like rip her mouth open and be like, ah, scary teeth.
Oh.
Probably. This is probably her on-camera persona. And then when she fights, she goes Baraka.
Obama.
Mecha Godzilla got confirmed.
I mean, it got confirmed in the first trailer, pretty much.
I heard an interesting theory about how the Mecha Godzilla is the original Godzilla that died, and they've took his DNA and shit and made Mecha Godzilla. And the Godzilla King Kong's fighting in the trailer on that ship is like a baby Godzilla, because the height doesn't match up. Like Godzilla in the first one was like stupidly tall, and this one is shrunk for some stupid reason.
We don't know if it's shrunk or if Godzilla's grown since the 70s. King
King
Kong.
Kong. They did say he was a baby and like he's a kid in the.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying Godzilla was stupidly like a lot taller than he is in the trailer for this one, because he was like the height of
Yeah, or skyscraper.
skyscraper.
How do you know that King Kong's not wearing lift?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, look at Tom Cruise. The stuff they can do for him.
Yeah, he looks like a normal person, not even slightly like a reptilian alien.
You know for sure that Godzilla and King Kong's gonna team up to fight
Obviously.
Mechagodzilla. Though.
Big boys doing big boy things.
Yeah.
You know?
I'd heard though someone tweeted to the Godzilla stuff that the Godzilla versus King Kong there was going to be one winner. The directors come out and said there's just going to be a winner, not it being Superman versus Batman kind of thing. Batman versus Superman.
They won't do that.
Yeah,
No,
but the winner
I didn't
will
think they
be
There'll be a
Godzilla
winner,
and
but
King
they
Kong.
won't die, and then they'll team up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
The winner is going to be Mr. Rogers in a bloodstained sweater.
Yes.
Hey,
It's been there in front of our eyes for years.
Good song.
It's not really.
It is.
It's old and catchy. There's a difference.
Neil Blomkamp is writing District 10.
Neil Buchanan, I don't think he's qualified.
I need District 9 fans.
Oh.
Have you only just realised it's District 9 sequel, District 10?
Is District 9 the one? No, yeah, District 9 is the one with the fucking shrimp in it. I always get those confused with Precinct 13.
Fucking pun. What's the other one that was like
It's a good film.
a bunch of aliens that came out around the same time? It's got a similar-ish name, but not really. I can't remember what it is. We're called just like 9 or something.
That's
With the little ragdoll creature.
yeah, that's the Tim Burton. Is it
The
Tim Burton?
anime film. It's not
It's a
Tim
good
Burton.
film,
It looks like it should be Tim Burton though.
It's a good film though. Proper
Yeah.
underappreciated.
I enjoy it. The guy with the Pope hat is my favourite. He's got a Pope hat.
that. And he's old.
Yeah.
But yeah, District 10. I'm excited. District 9 was good. I enjoyed it.
I enjoy that.
I like Elysium. Though.
Well, Elysium's bad.
Yeah, but I've got the making of art book signed by.
I know you
So I
are.
like it.
And last bit of news. Henry Cavill, or Cavill, whatever you want to call him.
Henry.
Sure. He might be Commander Shepard in a Mass Effect adaptation. This comes from an Instagram post he put on where he's in his Witcher makeup chair and he's got a script and he's like, secret project maybe? And some fans was like, that says Cerberus and Reaper and Geth and Talizora, whatever they are. Mass Effect words.
Meh.
Don't know.
I've never played a Mass Effect game,
I tried the first
except for
one.
Andromeda.
I
Sorry.
tried to play one, and I didn't like the combat system for it, so I turned it off.
Exactly. It was trash.
Nice.
It's not my kind of combat system. But as you know, I'm not a huge fan of single-player games anyway, so it already failed that test.
Do you think Henry Cavill's just going to become
Henry Cavill!
It's going to be video games.
He's just going to become every video game protagonist? That's his
Yeah,
new
but-
career move.
They've got to always CG him and top lip in. It's like on top of his normal face. Otherwise,
Are they
I
gonna-
will not be invested.
Are they fixing that in the Snyder Cut? That's
That won't be a part of the Snyder Cut, I don't think.
I'm definitely not. If he doesn't have a fake top lip on top of his normal top lip, even if he doesn't have a mustache, I want it to look like he's got marshmallows stuck up his lip.
And on that note, should we get on to the Big Pineapple?
No.
Oh. This week's Big Pineapple is all about conspiracy theories.
Who's it brought to us by?
Oh, Big Jugs.
Wow.
That's the name of a character. Well, the slang name of a character in a film I watched the other day.
Yeah,
I watched Gaunt's O, and
I've seen that.
There's a character in that gets referred to as Big Jugs at the end.
It's an alright film, that.
I really enjoyed it, and I may buy it on Blu-ray because I want to watch it properly because the
Yeah.
effects look awesome, and I watched it in like 480p for the effects. I was like, I wish I could see what this looks like in crisp HD.
Mm.
The plot makes no sense if you don't know anything about the world. I'll tell you that for free because stuff happens. You're like, what's going on? And the main character, like you're the main character in it, essentially, like you are in like, every film. And he's asking like, what's going on? And they don't really tell him. And then he just becomes okay with not knowing, and then just get really invested in what's happening.
Yeah.
And you're like, but we still don't know what's quite going on here.
Just
And
got
then the ending is
accept it,
dog
and
shit. The ending is so bad. I did not understand what happened at the end
Things happen.
because
don't
it cuts between different things, and it's
Mm.
I don't know what was. I don't get it. But the action is and the effects. Oh my god, it looks so good, and I want to see it proper in HD in Blu-ray. But you can only get it in German or order it from America and pay fuck ton on tax and shipping and shit.
That's annoying. Well, that's who the Big Pineapple's brought to you by.
Big jugs.
Big jokes.
How do you want to do this?
I've got one I can start with. It's a really quick one, if that's all right.
Yeah?
I don't think there's really an answer to this one, but I'm still convinced that the footage from the original conspiracy episode deliberately sabotaged so we could make a whole new episode about it.
Well,
I can neither confirm nor deny.
Oh, that's always said when it's true. They never say that when they want to deny it. They just say I deny it. We've had it confirmed right here. They delete it on purpose to get us.
I mean, I did leave some of it in to tease. We got some of the analyst's conspiracy theory.
They're
I
not
just cut
mine,
off.
so don't paint me to be a lunatic. I didn't come up with them. I just read about them.
Have you
I've just
have you ever come up with your own conspiracy theory?
I did, but I can't remember what it was. And I said it to Seaton, and I was like, "What about this?" Because it was a really tame one about like a show or something. And I was like, "What about this?" And I can't remember what it was, but he was like, "Oh, that kind of makes sense." And it weren't like posted around online or anything. I just thought of it naturally, so I was quite happy with that. But I can't remember what it was, and it was quite a while ago.
Always got to write these notes down so you remember.
Mm,
I didn't realise it would be
full
important.
lunatic.
Exactly.
Every thought I have gets written down.
Well, that's the thing that I was reading about. That like historians really like people that are considered to be weird or dull in our time, where they write everything down that seems mundane. Because, like in ancient Egypt, there's scripture where they talk about trading with this group of people. I can't remember what they're called, but it begins with an R. And they like say, "Oh, we got a load of shit off them. They had like loads of cotton from these people, and we traded it for like." Whatever. We gave him a load of milk, or we gave him 3 cows and a dog for a fuck ton of cotton. Brilliant. But so like they've written down all this stuff like, oh, they were the great people, they had all this stuff, but they never said where it was because they were like, well, why would we say where it is? Everybody knows where it is. We're not going to write down where it is. That'd be stupid. Why? We all know that it's over there, like 500 miles or whatever. So they never wrote it down. So historians still don't know where this ancient civilization was or where it is now today.
Yeah.
They've got no clue, and there's no way to triangulate it from anything that they found written by ancient. So historians like people who are just like, today I walked 5 miles and I got to this place and I bought cheese. Because they're like, oh, so 5 miles from this location was a place that sold cheese. So they love people like explaining.
So much knowledge.
Look, I read a lot yesterday and watched a lot of videos.
Has anyone else got any apart from the Analyst? 'Cause I've got a few which are celebrity themed,
Oh.
but
I mean,
I've got 0 because I was just having the week off. I'm like, Grandad Dick's doing the fucking airy pineapple. I'm going to be a moderator.
classic.
Moderator of the panel.
I know PB would find some right bangers, and like he had loads of notes last time. I'm like, I don't want to waste time with shit ones I find. I know PB knows what the good shit is, or the Analyst. Sorry, interchangeable. That's his pronouns.
Hans Blasted /Anal. I'll put it on my Twitter bio.
Go on then, Analyst. Take it away.
Are you sure? You want me to just go straight for it?
Straight for it. Let's go.
Right. So I thought we'd start with one that's not that much of a conspiracy, but it's kind of interesting and it's in the same kind of vein of like unsolved stuff almost, or like just weird things that have happened that have influenced stuff. So you two specifically, and GD probably knows it a bit, but you two mostly know the time. Like, it's a trope that's lasted for ages in film, where it's a creepy film. It's dark, it's late at night. Somebody's home alone. They're in the bedroom. They're getting ready for bed. They get changed. They go to the bathroom. They need to wash the face. Start washing. They open up the medicine cabinet. Get something out. Close the medicine cabinet. And behind them is the killer! Right? You're aware of that trope, yeah?
Yeah.
Do you know the origin for that trope?
No.
Or why it exists and why people started using it in films, media?
No.
Allow me to explain this for you.
Ooh.
See, I thought you'd like this because it's quite filmy. So this is all from a killing that happened in 1987, which might set this to be a takeoff thing. And it was in the projects in Chicago. So what happened was there's this woman who's got learning disabilities who has her own apartment in these projects, right? She's home alone in an evening. She lives alone. She always has. She hears people sounding like they're trying to break into her house. She's not too sure how they're doing it or what's going on. She can just hear banging into her apartment. So she's obviously scared. So picks up the phone, 911. There's people trying to break into my house. I need some help. Obviously in the projects back then and in the evening like today, it's like quite a dangerous place. So stuff like people breaking into houses, drug use, violence was like quite common in the projects. So the police are like, yeah, we'll come over, because it's like, yeah, it happens all the time. So it's not anything different. They got to the house, the apartment, sorry, knocked on the door. They got there, they couldn't hear anything. Like, there was no disturbances or anything. Nobody shouting, no smashing or anything they could hear. Knocked on the door and there was no response. So they thought, well, it seems quiet, nothing's happening. If somebody was in there, they'd come to the door. If they were breaking in, there'd be a noise. They'd probably gone to bed. It is late, because they took a while to show up, like an hour or so. Knocked on the door, no response. So they left. And then after about 2 days, she was reported missing, and she'd not turned up to what she'd normally do through the days. So the police were called again. They went to the house, knocked on the door, still no response. So they kicked the door in to see if anything had happened. And that's where they found the woman on the floor, dead, looked to have been shot. And she'd started decomposing, obviously, because she'd been left there for 2 days. Like money and stuff, like coins everywhere. Clearly, like valuable notes had been taken, but bits of coins and like jewelry had been thrown all over the room. They did a search of the house, and what they found was something that was quite commonplace at the time. Was between apartments, there's fake walls. So in between, it's called a pipe chase, which is where you see in some films they've shown it, where there's like all the plumbing in between rooms and stuff. It's quite a narrow space. What criminals would do, they'd break into that, because that's a lot less secure, and they'd be then in this pipe chasing between all these different apartments. And back then, the projects, when they were built, they had service hatches in the medicine cabinets. So the back of the medicine cabinet was a fake wall that was a hatch that you could open up to get into the service the pipes behind. So what happened is these criminals had broken in through the service hatch and climbed through the medicine cabinet and got into the apartment, and that's how they got there and took all the money and got away without breaking the door down.
Nice.
Nice.
So that's where the origin of the thing comes from. I just find it weird that it only really was happened once, where it was documented that a robbery turned into a killing through a medicine hatch, because that's the only way they could have got in, and then that's what's caused it. So it's just weird that it was only this one time, and there's no other documents of it happening after or before. So I thought you'd want to know that, because that's weird.
It's nice.
Like that.
Creepy, but nice.
I told you it's not so much conspiracy, more of just like one of those weird, creepy,
Facts.
unsolved kind of things. But they obviously didn't know who did it, and they couldn't find him.
Maybe it was a filmmaker that made that first scene.
It's a trial run.
If I can kill someone with this, it'll probably be good in a film.
Indeed. So next up, you can choose which one you want to go down. One's a little bit longer than the other. So we've got an old family favourite film is the prequel to horror films, or General Aliens.
Should we do the film one? Just
Yeah,
'cause
let's
the
stick
other
down
one was film.
the film route.
Okay. So I don't know if you've heard of this before. You might have done, because it looks to be like one that might be quite well known. Famous Christmas film. It's about this young child who's
I
home
know.
alone.
Yeah.
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 And he has a fascination with fire, hurting people who are wrongdoers, and he has a really traumatic childhood because he gets left home alone not once but twice. When it happens once, it's an accident, twice is a pattern. So clearly his parents are quite negligent. And then he grows up to be Jigsaw in the Saw films. So there's a lot of stuff that like shows that this could be true. So they've both got like an obsession with fire. They use it quite a lot for different things. And it all stems from Kevin's fear of his furnace that's in the basement, because there's obviously the scene where he sees it and it's like, oh, it's a monster, and he runs. And then there's in Saw 2, somebody gets trapped in a furnace in a basement and gets burnt alive in it, right? There's a bit where in Home Alone, he booby traps the stairs by putting like tar and nails and shit on it and stabs people in the feet and stuff. And I can't remember the name of that the burglar in that who falls down. It's the tall one.
Marv.
So he stands on a nail, falls back down it. In Saw, there's a scene where police are trying to get into his house, and there's a set of stairs that are electrified, and knives cut at the policeman's feet and ankles, and cause them to fall down the stairs as well. It's like quite similar looking scenes as well with how they are. He also uses obviously intricate traps to punish people, so it's like not just like a shooting or whatever. It's all like really elaborate and well thought out. And then here's the kicker. Jigsaw has this stupid little puppet thing, right? In Home Alone, Kevin has a clown puppet in the scene where he goes into the basement, and it's like quite a wide shot of him like just at the bottom of the stairs, like at the foot of the stairs in the basement. There's a pile of toys on the left-hand side, and in that pile of toys on the top is a clown doll puppet that's like got the same pale skin and everything. The only difference is that one has red hair, and Jigsaw's obviously has the black hair slit, but they are quite similar looking in like proportions, tone, and everything like that, and it looks very similar.
How creepo that.
What do you think, Mr. P? Your face looks weird, and I don't know how to read it.
I just think Kevin's a little prick, mostly. That's what I'm thinking about.
Exactly, he could grow up to be a Jigsaw. He's a prick.
He does come from a very affluent family, so he'd have the money to make all these fucking death houses and shit.
He would.
Yeah.
I want to know what his dad did for a living, mostly, to have that big a house.
Could have been anything. Banker, probably.
I think he works for the mob, but that's a conspiracy for another day.
How many films are Home Alone tied to?
It's actually The Godfather, because his dad works for them as an accountant. Yeah. So I thought that was a nice little one as well. Quite small.
It makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that obviously is like really coincidental stuff that makes it all line up and stuff. But it is quite funny how there is a decent amount of it. It's not just like he's got a furnace and he kills somebody in a furnace, therefore he equals Jigsaw. I thought it was quite interesting.
You can see where the filmmaker would be like, what if this was a horror film?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can indeed.
I'm sure there's a film from the 80s that's like that. I'm sure it's like an action or a fucking Home Alone. I can't remember what it's fucking called. I'll have to find out what it's called and let you know.
Home Alone 3 is a horror film.
Home Alone 4 is the real horror film.
Oh, don't.
What about Home Alone 3D, straight to DVD? That'd been... Right. So, aliens.
Here we go.
This is just quite a fun fact that I found out, which I thought you'd like to know. Over 30,000 insurance policies have been sold to people for the protection against alien impregnation.
Right.
What?
30,000. It costs just over £100 a year for this protection, and they'll insure you for if you get impregnated by aliens when you get abducted, and they'll pay out.
For what,
That
though?
is-
Removal of the eggs, or?
No, you just get money if
Oh.
it happens to you. You'll get a payout because you're insured against. Over 30,000 people have bought that coverage
That's mad.
at £100 a year.
Why aren't we
Can we
doing something
stop selling it?
like that?
You sell people insurance against being beaten up by Mr. Pineapple.
So I found that and I thought that's quite insane. And that shouldn't happen. People should never buy something like that. It seems like one of the things that would be on The Simpsons, where like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Mm.
you need to get volcano insurance. Obviously, what if a volcano goes off? It's like, you make a good point, Mr. Insurance Salesman. So yeah, but over 30,000 policies have been sold. Nuts. Right. So aliens. Right. Obviously, there's the pyramids. Everybody likes to go on about them with aliens. So I looked into it a bit more to give you some numbers behind the pyramids to make it so like to really question it. So each stone that makes up the Great Pyramid, so the middle one that is like the famous one, the largest one, each stone that makes that up weighs between 2.5 to 15 tons, right?
Jesus.
That's a big fucking stone, okay? To make that pyramid, there's 2.3 million stones in that entire structure, right? And it was made in 23 years. For that to be the case, and that's what they believe to be true from all of the evidence that they've found in from ancient Egypt. If that were to be the case, one of those blocks would have to be placed every 2.5 minutes every single day for 23 years.
What, non-stop?
Yeah.
Even through the night?
Yeah.
Even on a weekend.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've seen a doc. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I was going to repeat it. Every 2.5 minutes, a stone weighing between 2.5 to 15 tons was placed.
I have seen a documentary that does show that they were used for landing spacecraft on.
Documentary.
I think it was a documentary. It involved like this metal
Feature
ring
length.
that feature length one. They had this metal ring that they used to ferry the slaves back and forth through.
Didn't they also like show the tensile strength of refrigeration
Oh,
in that documentary as well?
not that one. That's a different documentary.
All right.
God.
So that's already quite nuts, right?
Mm.
There's a lot of people say, oh well, they used a ramp and dragged these stones up. There's no evidence of any ramp being built. There's no like foundations around it. There's nothing to suggest that they would have been spaced for where they'd planned out a ramp. Like there's nowhere there's sturdy enough ground that would have been compacted and then a ramp built on it. And there's no documentation of that through hieroglyphics. So they've not drawn anything to show like a ramp leading up to it while it was being built or anything like that. So it's just a bit strange. It's really weird because they like to talk about a lot of stuff. Like I said, they've mentioned this random culture that, like, oh yeah, we traded with them all the time, but never said where it were. So you would have expected them to say something like, yeah, we put a ramp up here and it was great, but then not say like what face it was on or whatever. Another thing is that the pyramid is aligned perfectly with magnetic north, so that it's all lined up perfectly. And 3 pyramids are aligned with Orion's belt.
Yeah.
So the star system, they're all aligned as well, right? So that's the pyramid. But then there's another group of people in Africa that were called the Dogons, right? And they were in West Africa. In the 1930s and 40s, some not mercenaries, missionaries, went to them.
They're very different.
Yeah.
Words are really close though, aren't they? For what they do, those words should not be that close. Missionaries went to them and to learn about these people and stuff, and just learn about tribes and stuff across Africa. So they went to West Africa and they found these people called the Dogons, and they wanted to talk to them and learn more about them. And it was in the 30s and 40s. So during that time, they demonstrated knowledge of the rings around Saturn and also of Jupiter's second moon, called Sirius B, because Sirius A and Sirius B, and they showed that they knew that existed to these 2 missionaries that went there. With those things, it's not possible to see with the naked eye, so there's no way that you could look up and see the ring and there's no way you can see this second moon. But they told the people that went there that they know that they existed. And some people have said, well, maybe they've just got really good eyesight as like a people from being where they are and like evolution. They've just got good eyesight and used a telescope that they've managed to get hold of through trading through Africa since it's the 30s and 40s. But then, if that were true, they would have known about more in the solar system. But when they were talking to these missionaries about it, they didn't know about Neptune and Saturn. They didn't know that those planets existed. But they did know that the belts of Jupiter were there. The second moon of Jupiter was there, and the rings of Saturn. So, like, there were just planets they didn't know existed, but they knew really specific things about the solar system that had only, like, recently at that time been done by big, massive, obviously, like, American telescope. Like, whoa, look at our big throbbing telescope. That kind of stuff. And that had only just been found then. So that's weird. In Bolivia, there's a town called Tiwanaku, which have these massive stones. So if you think about the size of the stones at the pyramids, where they're 2.5 to 15 tons, in Tiwanaku, there's some stones that have been moved around up there, which are way up to 450 tons.
Wow.
And they've been like put upright, made into like structures and stuff, and they've managed to put these up. Like, imagine a massive Stonehenge, like Stonehenge on steroids. But then they've also got carvings in them as well. So there's one carving that looks like a calendar that's able to document for millenniums rather than just like a few hundred years. So they've got a calendar that can document from now to in thousands of years' time, even though this is like an ancient civilization. And it's on this one rock that they've been able to put this calendar in where you can do that. And also at that place when they've discovered it, they found 200 skulls all in a really like localized area that had been elongated. So they weren't normal skull shape, they'd have the old elongation to it. And when they look through some of their cave paintings and writings and etchings on these rocks, they believe that the culture were mimicking deities that they worshipped and showed them meeting deities with long skulls, and then their like higher ups and chiefs would then have their skulls elongated, like the sun would have it started from an early age to try and mimic these deities that they were that they'd met according to their writing. That's just some of the. I thought I'd go for some niche stuff on Alien rather than the stuff that everybody knows about.
That one's pretty cool though.
The one thing I'm taking from this, right, is how shit today is, right? Modern day is garbage. That civilization, had a calendar that they could do from there to 1,000 years in front of us. Then the Mayans stopped at like 2012, and now we can only get them a fucking once a year. We have to buy a new one.
Yeah, and that breaks games like WWE 2K20.
Exactly.
When it turned over into 2020, the game broke. So we can't even do that right.
Calendars are shit these days.
Exactly. So they're my small ones.
Here we go.
Right, are you ready to get deep in this one? Because this is like 2 pages long.
Shall we mix it up and have Ant do one beforehand?
We can do.
Good.
All mine are stupid. I'm just going to put that out there.
I expect nothing less. I'm excited, as always.
This comes from Dino.
What? Who?
A
What?
random,
My uncle's DJ name, DJ Dino.
a random guy who's obsessed with Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee.
Oh.
You ready? I'm just going to read his thing. I want to bring your awareness to something that may be interesting to you. I've been a fan of Bruce Lee since I was a child, and his son Brandon Lee. Right, you ready? I had an urge to watch Brandon's final movie, The Crow, and after learning all about Illuminati symbolism, I feel that without a doubt, Brandon Lee was ritually murdered. As you are probably well aware, Brandon met his tragic end whilst filming The Crow back in 1994, when a supposed dummy bullet accidentally fired into his midsection, killing him in the process. I believe his death was deliberately ordained. If you watch the movie, you will find that there is a horrific rape scene within the apartment complex of the girlfriend of Eric Draven. Now, what's particularly interesting about this is that this brutal act takes place inside a pyramid frame with an all-seeing eye above it. The very Illuminati pyramid we all now becoming familiar with today. If you also watch the movie again, you will see the familiar appearance of the Chrysler Phoenix logo, which seems to dominate the entire screen. As you are probably well aware, the Chrysler logo is an Illuminati symbol, and it appears frequently throughout the whole of the movie. Bruce Lee himself also spoke about the fourth dimensional demon, or a watcher, who had been following him all his life until his tragic death in 1973. Indeed, the Chinese were very superstitious and believed strongly in the existence of these 4D entities, so much so that any male child born, the Chinese would disguise as a female to deter the watchers from taking the baby's life. My understanding is that the Illuminati Lee bloodline of Hong Kong is connected to both Bruce and Brandon, hence Bruce's birth name Lee Young Fan and his father Lee Hoi Shuen. They are offshoots from that genealogical lineage. Jesus. Also, if I may point out one more thing, if you refer back to Brandon's earlier 1992 movie Rapid Fire, there is a sequence where Brandon is in a building and he is under fire from triads. Now, in one certain clip of this sequence, Brandon does a flip up from the floor, and if you look in the middle, if you look in the immediate background, you will see what appears to be a faceless figure of a man sitting in the background. And what's more, in The Crow, you see the figure re-emerge once again in a shot where the camera is panning across a series of buildings. ... Very eerie indeed. Perhaps it may be worth your while checking this out.
I don't feel like it is.
So
I've got Rapid Fire here, right? I'm going to watch this later.
Yeah.
And The Crow. And
you're going to see the faceless figure.
it's actually a decent film.
Yeah, you would say that because you're in with the Illuminati.
Illuminati.
You know who else is in the Illuminati? Kanye West.
He is. It was proved when he jumped up on the stage and shouted at Taylor Swift, saying, "I'm going to let you finish," because that's him initiating her into it to see how she handles it, and then that's why later she comes onto the stage in a completely different dress that matches the colour scheme of the rest of the people that are known to be in the Illuminati on the stage with her, because she's then been inducted. Yeah, I've actually looked that up, but I've read about that before.
But this one isn't about the Illuminati. It's about David Bowie and Kanye West. The idea here is that David Bowie's mention of a starman waiting in the sky would love to come and meet us, but he thinks he'd blow our minds, is actually referring to Kanye West.
The alien that built the pyramids. It all makes sense.
Despite not having been born at the time, internet crazies state that evidence can be found on the cover of Bowie's album Ziggy Stardust, which shows Bowie standing under a sign that reads K West. The first track on his album, 5 Years, is considered an omen for the coming of West, who was born 5 years after the album's release, throwing Kanye being one of the first to tweet a tribute when Bowie died, and the fact his last album is called Black Star. You've kind of got something here. Yeah, this website's amazing.
I mean, it doesn't really blow our minds. It's just shit, isn't it? It's like literally you and Liam are his only fans, surely.
I'm not his fan. Seaton's his fan.
Oh, it's Seaton.
It's nuts because there's so many music ones, because there's so many albums and so many album covers and so many lyrics that you can go into almost anything and find it. It's like people say that Michael Jackson predicted 9/11 because on one of his album covers, is it called like Blood on the Dance Floor or something? I don't know all his albums. I do apologise. He's like his arms are pointing like a really weird direction, and it's like pointing at the exact. If you were to draw a clock face on it, it's drawing at the exact time that the plane hit the tower. If you were to have his hands as clock, and then there's like a cityscape behind him that's being destroyed, and like, oh god, it's ridiculous.
I've got one about Lady Gaga. It's just a short one.
She shot her own dog walker.
She's a man.
She killed Lou Reed.
What?
Right? Because Lou Reed produced her album Art Pop, which she claimed was inspired by Velvet Underground. However, Lou Reed wasn't impressed by the record and left the project. And then Lady Gaga killed him because she was angry.
So it wasn't the cancer. It
No.
was the Gaga.
It says here she murdered him by injecting the singer with a poisonous substance that brought on liver disease.
Okay,
And
such people. Jesus Christ.
My last one's about dear old Paul Walker.
Oh.
I'm curious now.
This one ends abruptly. It's insane.
Much like his life.
There are claims that his film history shows ties to the secret societies and therefore the Illuminati. He was in the Fast and Furious import car films, which shares the same name as the ATF Operation Fast and Furious, where there was a cover-up in the secret op to trade guns with Mexican cartel in order to track guns and arrest high-ranking members of the cartel. Walker was also in The Skulls, which was about the Skull and Bones Society at Yale. The Skull and Bones has ties with right-wing politicians, including members of the PNAC, like Robert Kagan, and high profiles such as President George W. Bush. This is where it just gets fucking stupid. You ready?
Because it ain't already.
This also ties in to the Fox Broadcasting Company's Family Guy TV show. Fox is noted as a right-wing 24/7 entertainment media channel, and their agenda includes pretty much anybody in the right-wing side of politics. The talking points get repeated from the news shows on Fox, and alright, that's just him talking about fucking right-wing politicians. So how does this tie to Paul Walker? They believed that, the beloved dog on Family Guy, Brian, died on November 24th, just 6 days prior to Paul Walker. Paul Walker's character on Fast and Furious was named Brian O'Connor, sharing the same first name. Also, the reason the public found out about the ATF Operation Fast and Furious was because ATF agent Brian Terry was killed during one of the operation's first transactions. That's 3 Bryans. And then it just says he was killed by the Illuminati because it was a remote controlled car.
So Brian died on Family Guy. So Paul Walker was killed by the Illuminati.
Look, the facts are all there, and if you can't just accept it, then you're just a sheeple.
If you know your facts, you tell the facts, you know.
Exactly. Look, all these higher-ups in government and police and stuff, they might not know what's going on, but I've got the internet. I tell you, I know what's going on. I've researched, I've looked it up, sun chat, bust around.
Doesn't even make sense.
I know. Just because you don't want to accept it.
Why does he even go on about Family Guy?
What's Brian?
He died 6 days before. We're not reading it. But everybody knows that 6 days before means that he was going to get killed by the Illuminati. We all saw it coming. Everybody wrote about it on the blogs. When he died on Family Guy, we were all talking about it in forums, saying, well, now it's only a matter of time before Paul Walker is off. Probably about 6 days, I'd say.
I mean, it's also, in all fairness, Brian got run over by a car. It's vehicle related. The same.
Makes the pieces have come together.
That was the final piece of the puzzle. It just came down there by GD, slotted in. You stand back and you see the full picture.
I was on the fence. I thought, there's no way this can be plausible. And then that little nugget came across, and then mind blown.
I like the Kanye West one.
That's weird. Really weird.
To be fair, whenever I've looked at that album cover, I've always thought Kanye West because of the K West thing.
I thought you were talking about the Illuminati version of it.
Oh, no. Go on then. Your long ones.
Oh, you want my long one?
I want your long one.
Right. Okay. This one is quite famous, and you probably heard a bit about it, but it was American, and it happened before most of us here were born. So, would you like me to tell you, like, what it's about, and, like, names and stuff? Or would you rather me just, like, tell you the story and see if you know it?
Yeah.
Yes or what? Because I asked you a multiple choice question.
The last one.
The
I like
second one.
guessing games.
So you want to try and guess at what it's actually about.
Yeah.
You should get it quite quick, hopefully.
Kanye West.
No. So, picture the scene. We're in the town of Boulder, Colorado. If anybody knows it from that, then you're a fucking nerd. Say that.
Rings a bell.
Nerd. The date is December 26, 1996. So, like I say, mostly before we were born and this happened. You were born at that. So, anyway, yeah, December 26, 1996. Grandad Dick has just found his first pube.
Not mine. I just found it in the sink. I'm like, ooh, this tastes weird.
We're in Boulder, Colorado. The mum of a family wakes up a little before 6 in the morning, which is already, but hey, you do you. Gets up, walks down the stairs, and on the stairs finds a note that's been left. On the note, reads through it, finds out that it's a ransom note for one of her 2 children. So obviously, calls the police. Call was made at 5:52 a.m. At the time, she knew that she was in the house, her husband was in the house, and her son was in the house. They checked the house for if the daughter was in, and she wasn't anywhere in the house. So believed the ransom note to be true, right? So the police, being given this information, decided not to search the house and instead focus their effort elsewhere in the wider community to try and find this little girl, who was about 6, I believe. They're searching everywhere, and as everybody knows, it's like in the first 24 hours of a child abduction, that's the best time to be able to find a child alive still. After that, the odds like fall drastic. After 8 hours, the body of the girl was found in the basement of her house. So she wasn't there at 5:52 when they conducted their search. 8 hours later, the little girl was found there, right? The autopsy found that she was bludgeoned to death, but the county coroner said the cause of death was strangulation. So already 2 bodies are saying that different causes of death as well, right? DNA was found on the girl's clothes. Not that kind of DNA. Because CSI and stuff has ruined it, and all like films. Because whenever people say DNA was found on the clothes, it's always, oh, I bet that was semen. It weren't semen. It was just listed as DNA, classified not semen, but DNA. So it's found on the body. It was found on the clothing and on the underwear of the girl, not semen. Okay, and they could determine that it was a man. That's all they knew from the DNA. They ran it through their system, and out of the 1.5 million crims that were in the database at the time, no match came up. Okay, and they kept that DNA on record. From looking through the house, they found 2 sets of footprints that couldn't be identified. Didn't belong to any of the shoes of anybody in the house. Right. Further investigation, they found a rope near the girl's bedroom, like a length of rope that didn't belong to any of the family. And it was just coiled up and there. From her body, she had like a telephone wire almost, like wrapped around her neck and bruising around the neck as well. But then she also had like fractured skull and stuff like that. So it was like really inconclusive, which is why the 2 bodies said 2 different things. At the time, don't know if you know much about Colorado weather. And definitely you won't know about Boulder specifically, but it snows around December, so they get white Christmases a lot. And at the time, there was thick snow around the house, and there was no footprints leading up to or away from the house, and no sign of break-in. On the ransom note, they looked at that into detail to find out if they could find out anything more. The ransom note demanded $118,000 from the family. And said
Very
specifically
specific number.
said specifically the 100,000 had to be in $100 bills, and the 18,000 had to be in $20 bills. The note mentions the 2 men that are watching over your daughter do not like you. If you try to mess us over, your daughter will be beheaded.
What?
Right? Specifically. And that's if you try to contact the police or FBI. Later in the note, it also says, if you try to outsmart us, you stand a 99% chance of killing your daughter. Follow our instructions, and you stand a 100% chance of getting your daughter back. I threw that in there because I quite like that detail because it reminded me of Scott Turner. You've got a 33 and a third chance of beating me. That's what I like. The note was signed with the initials SBTC. Still to this day, nobody has a clue what that stands for. Also in the note, it references we do not like the company that you work for and the countries they're against, which meant nothing really to do with this guy's job. Like it's not like he was attacking the country or anything like that. He was just like a businessman. who just made a lot of money. So it was really strange as well. In the house, searching more, they found a tearing of paper, like a corner of a piece of A4 paper, and found the start of the note again. So the note starts like, "Dear Mr. Whatever, we are a faction of people," something like that. They found a tearing of A4 paper in the corner that was that exact same note again, but slightly different handwriting. It's like the same handwriting, but you can tell it wasn't like copied or anything. They'd just written it again, but it was torn up. They looked at the notepad that the ransom note would come from and found that that was from inside the house, and the pen used was also from inside the house as well. So the notepad and pen that they used to write this ransom note was all inside the house. They further analysed the notepad and found that there was pressings from a second note that had been written as a practice note. So the person who'd written this ransom note had written it more than once and destroyed the practice one that they'd originally done, but left that one scrap of the practice note. So obviously, the suspects, from just like hearing that, you'd say mum, dad, brother. Got to be suspects in that, right? The DNA on the body exonerates all of the family. It didn't match any of them, not the mum, dad, or brother. Handwriting analysis showed that it couldn't have been the mum or the dad that wrote the letter, so they didn't write it. So they tried to find other suspects in this case. They found a man, Bill McReynolds.
What a name.
It's a great name. He's quite an old gentleman, and he's got a big white beard. Looks a bit like Santa, right? He visited the house 2 days before, so on Christmas Eve, he visited the house, because he was a Santa impersonator. So he'd visit all different houses around the village. In this town, he'd visit them. All kids would come and see him and stuff. He'd like work in malls and stuff. And he'd often dress up as Santa because he knew he looked like Santa. He has got a proper big white bushy beard, and he does look a lot like Santa, right? 22 years before this happened, his own child, his own daughter, was kidnapped and never returned. His wife also had written a play by this time about a child being molested and murdered, and it was all set in a basement, right? When he was asked about the death of the child, he said that it was harder on him than his own surgery that he'd been through, because he'd been through like heart surgery and stuff. And he said her death was harder for him to take than going through all this trauma himself. Somebody. And during his time as being Santa, the little girl gave him a jar of glitter as a present. Like backed him for being Santa, like, "Here you go, Santa, take this with you." And he cherished that dearly and kept it on him at all times, to the point where he took it into his heart surgery with him, and it was on the table with him while he was having his heart surgery. And before he went in for that, he said to his wife, "If I die, I want you to cremate me and mix this glitter with my ashes so I can be with it forever." There was another suspect called Gary Olivier.
Oh, he was called Gary Glitter.
I was going to say, I was like, if you could say Gary Glitter, solve the case.
He lived a couple of blocks away at the time. He was a bit younger than the other guy. He was like around his teens, like late teens at the time. Lived a few blocks away, and he'd been arrested a few times. So this obviously happened in 1996. He'd been arrested in 2000 and in 2006. In 2006, he was arrested for... can't remember what the term is, but he had child porn, so he was arrested for that in 2006. And in 2000, he was arrested for unrelated drug charges. On searching him, they found in his backpack a small photo of the girl, because she was known in the town, so people like knew her. So photos were easy to get of her. It wasn't like being able to get a photo wasn't the weird bit. Just having it 4 years after a death, obviously that's weird. And on his person at the time, when asked about it, he said, "She was an exceptional girl whose death was an exceptional loss. I felt the need to build a monument, a shrine to remember this little girl." They asked some of his friends about him, like to get like character build up and like learn about this guy a bit more. A friend of Gary's, called Michael Vale, said in an interview that Gary called him a day after the murder and said, "I hurt a little girl. I hurt a little girl." And on that phone call, he also said that it happened in Boulder, in Colorado, which is where this murder happened. Which is significant because on that day there was no other reports of any other girls being hurt or injured. So there's no other person it could be. It's not like he's accidentally clipped somebody while driving or something. Nothing else was reported at the hospital or the police station for that day for any girls being hurt. At one point, he's tried to kill his mum in the past by strangling her with a telephone cord.
Classic.
And the way that the cord was wrapped around his mum's neck when she was found, resuscitated, was the same way that the cord was wrapped around the girl's neck.
I mean,
And his DNA did not match the DNA on the clothes of the little girl.
they didn't take the DNA from the Santa guy, did they?
Yeah, his DNA didn't match.
Oh, fucking.
And there was another suspect called John Mark Carr. He was a divorced dad, and he worked as an elementary school teacher. And the reason he was a suspect was that he confessed to the murder in 2006 to a
That'll do it.
journalism professor called Michael Tracy. And what Michael did was emailed him back and forth for 4 years because he had a feeling that it could have been this guy. So for 4 years, he emailed him back and forth and built up trust and a rapport. And then eventually, over email, John Mark Carr confessed to killing this little girl. He used similar wording in his emails to what was in the ransom note. So like how he spaced things out, his mannerisms, his like way of talking, right, flowed the same as the ransom note. And he also used the mum's nickname in an email to this journalist, but when he was going back and forth, and only the family, friends, and like close family knew the nickname of the mum. It wasn't widely known. Nobody knew about it other than really close friends, which he was not. So there's no way that he should have known that nickname. And it's nothing like the name of the mum either. So the name of the mum is Patsy, the nickname is Neddy, and he knew it. In the emails, he confessed to being in love with the little girl, and he confessed to hitting her in the head with a flashlight. He ran away to Bangkok from California because he was being chased for child pornography charges as well. So they extradited him. British intelligence, US intelligence, and Bangkok intelligence all worked together, managed to find him and locate him, and they got him back to the US, at which point he confessed to everything. But
DNA.
all of his confession didn't fit the evidence that was in the house. He showed very little knowledge of what actually was in the house. He knew none of the details other than that she'd been hit in the head. That was the only thing that they could link up with what his confession was and what the actual crime scene showed. And his DNA did not match what was found on the girl's body, so it couldn't have been him. However, in the past few years, a DNA expert has got hold of the clothing for the little girl and tested it in this guy's like the Slash of DNA guys. He's the man. He's the boy.
We're going to say sloppy at guitar work.
Now, famous baller, rock and roll star. People know him in the industry oh, it's him, because he is the boy. So he has since proven that the DNA that was on those clothes belonged to the manufacturers of the clothing. And when they were packaged, the people who were packing them left residual DNA when they were sealing them. So it's that DNA was all from a factory who produced all these clothes. So everything that had been surmised about the DNA ruling people out was then taken away. So now it could still be any one of those people.
Jesus Christ.
There's so much that's not explained though. There are no footsteps that she wasn't there, then she was there. This is all just giving me a great idea for a film now.
Does anybody know this case? Could anybody
No.
piece it together?
No.
It's a very famous case. You'll probably know the name because it was very famous. Do you know of John Benet Ramsey?
Yes, I've heard that one.
Oh.
So she was a child beauty pageant star in America.
Yeah.
And this is what happened to her. She was
Right.
murdered when she was 6. And that was the child's name, John Benet Ramsey.
It explains why loads of paedophiles are around her.
Because she's one of the pretty ones.
Beauty pageants and that.
Yeah, the American beauty
just-
pageant side of that's very dodgy.
I think it's the brother and the Santa man.
You think it's the brother and the Santa man?
It could be all of them.
I
Probably
want
is.
to know why she gave him glitter as a present, because that's a shit present.
Because she's 6.
What did the Santa man say? This death hurt
It
him,
affected him more than his surgery. More than going through heart surgery.
killing her hurt him more than. That's what I'm picking up from that. Dirty
It's not-
Santa.
Why was she
It's just-
choked and beaten?
Why indeed?
Why the
I've-
note?
Was it two
Multiple
people?
people.
There was 2 sets of unexplained footprints that matched nobody's
Right.
shoes or anything in the house.
But they only took it from the house. They didn't try to match the footprints with, I guess.
Yeah, it was years later when they you
Yeah.
can just change your shoes easy. It's size might matter, but then I'll just not wear those shoes ever again that I used to when I was killing a 6-year-old.
You clip
You'd probably
that.
get rid of them, wouldn't you? Yeah.
You won't just walk around in them.
They are now the forest shoes.
Damn.
So someone probably broke in and I don't
There are
know.
no
they didn't
footprints
break
up to
in,
the
did
house
they?
in the snow. There are no
They
footprints
used-
up to and away.
Used the pipe wall thing from before.
Oh, this isn't in the project. This is in a big old mansiony house.
It's got underground pipe things that it's a
I
secret
was gonna say, it's
entrance.
got a basement,
Yeah.
so would there be access to that basement?
Maybe from the outside, but there was no
Helicopter.
Where were the footprints?
in the house. So
Oh,
like
right.
there was like marks in the house which were footprints. 2 sets next to each other, basically leading through the house.
That's
there
creepy
been-
as fuck.
A snowstorm.
It wasn't a snowstorm. It was like a light flutter that had continuously been going on. It wouldn't have been enough to completely mask footsteps. You would have been able to see indentations where it had
Right.
filled up slightly, but
Mm.
it wouldn't be level because it wasn't
Okay.
that heavy.
That's in-
What
Right.
does the internet believe is the answer?
Some people have said that it may have been the brother or the mum that killed her accidentally,
Hmm.
And then made it
tried to
look.
stage it to be like, oh look, it was a ransom.
Why would
makes-
that guy confess?
People are just wrong in the head, aren't they? And they're like,
He couldn't afford a plane back to America. So
Oh,
like, this is
fucking
what
hell!
I've got
I
to
forgot
do.
a thing about him as well. The guy
Go
that
on.
confessed. There was this photos of him in a completely different state, like the day that it happened.
oh.
Well, probably not him then.
Some people just want to be famous, even if it's for
They
killing a
did
kid.
still know some details of what had happened, like that they should have been bashed in the head and stuff.
Yeah,
I mean, how long was the time difference between like that happening and him confessing?
10 years.
So I mean, by then that some of that knowledge probably would have been maybe not public, but researchable or.
why would he confess?
Mm.
Because when you said he confessed but didn't do it, I was like, it's a
Illuminati.
society making him confess kind of thing. That's when my brain went.
I've got right now. This gave me a great idea. All right, we're going to change it from child murder to just a normal murder because no one likes child murder. All right, same kind of stuff goes off, and in the film, all right, we, the titular characters, invent a time machine and go back, try and stop it or find out what happened, but we accidentally kill the person, and it's just us running around this house trying to remember what was going off and why we had to fucking what the mystery was.
Well, so it's like we accidentally kill this person. It's like, oh shit! Well, right, you do the ransom now.
Yeah.
You run through the house with different shoes on. Fuck.
Oh, wow,
Suddenly
that's-
turns
you-
into a dark comedy.
Yeah.
Get a rope. Put it outside the bedroom. Go
That'd
up
be
there.
pretty
Put it
good,
outside
actually,
the
to
bedroom.
be
It's
fair.
for nothing. Just fucking do it. Just do it.
Why is he a rope though?
You don't know. They'll never know.
It didn't belong to the family. None of them had purchased the rope. That rope was like had no DNA on it, and it had just come from nowhere. None of the family owned a rope.
You said it were a mansion,
It's a big house kind of thing. Yeah, it's like
so
several
someone
bed.
could have came in days earlier and hid.
Could have done.
It's me though.
That's a logical explanation, I guess.
Where was she during
But-
this time where she was disappeared and then found in the basement?
Yeah, because you said, did we go down to a basement, she weren't there, and then later on she was? That's
Yeah.
creepy as fuck.
I mean,
I don't like
About
that.
6 in the morning. Well, just before at 5:52 is when they called and said that they've searched everywhere in the house, and she wasn't in the house. And somebody's taken.
did they ever find out what was actually the cause of death, or between the two?
It's disputed between those two.
Either, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of cases. are
Autopsy
like
and coroner say different things.
Because I mean, I can kind of see the parent, like or brother, like, oh no, I've accidentally bashed her head in. I'll make it look like she was strangled, and then hide them in a trunk in the basement. We'll look in the basement, we won't find them. Then I'll bring her out. Some shit like that.
It does seem like a family member. Like the practicing writing the note and being like, oh shit, I need to do it again.
The writing didn't match though, did it?
The handwriting didn't match either of the parents.
Just write it with your left hand.
I was gonna say is you could do that.
Or with your mouth.
They do
Yeah.
that when they do handwriting analysis.
Write it with the hand of a dead person.
Yeah, but you're still controlling it. It's still the same thing. It's because of how like you flow letters and stuff, and it's really difficult to get out of that habit, and you'll
Yeah.
mess up at least somewhere. The note was like a page long.
Simple. Write in block capitals.
That's why a lot of the time you'll see that trope of cutting out letters. And sticking
Yeah.
it. You can't do anything.
I've learned one thing now. Next time you guys get to come over, I'm going to collect some of your hairs and just stick them in a bag. So if I ever need to kill someone that's unrelated to you, I'll just sprinkle the DNA on there. And they're like, well, doesn't match. Like, why would they test your DNA or your DNA? As long as you're not in the criminal record thing.
You're trying to frame us for murder.
Not frame you,
got lots-
but just DNA that's not in the criminal database. and it isn't related to the person that's been killed.
Well, this
Why would
isn't
they
getting
test-
cut.
What?
This isn't getting cut. I like that one.
I don't, because I need to know.
As I say,
You'll never
we'll
know.
invent a time machine.
I
think
don't
we'll know
have the
eventually.
capabilities to invent a time machine.
Not yet.
I don't
We'll
have
know
beauty pageant
eventually.
money, mate.
If it's one of the family members, a guilt will eventually catch up to me.
I mean, I'd have thought that eventually, before 10 years, I don't know.
Would you prefer this or the sequel, The McCanns?
I mean, that's not
That's
really.
a cut and dry case, though.
They
isn't
did it. I still don't understand how they aren't in prison.
Was this a Unsolved Mysteries one?
It's not solved.
No, an Unsolved Mysteries one. You have a Netflix.
I don't know. It might have been.
There was like a big
It
documentary.
sounds like they should.
in America.
There was a documentary
It
called
was like-
Casting John Bonet.
It was all
Oh,
over
right.
the thing, weren't it? The internet for like a period.
It was massive. That's why I thought you might have like known or maybe
If
heard,
you said
like, remembered names.
if you said the name, that name, I would have been like, ah, yes.
Exactly, which is why I was like, do you want to know or do you not want
Yeah.
to save it for the big reveal? But like that John Mark Carr, the guy who just randomly admitted to it in 2006, a lot of people know his name because he was just a dumbass.
Yeah.
Right.
So odd though. He knows more.
Who? Me?
Jean-Marc Carr.
I don't know. I know nothing. It weren't me. It was him.
You're saying unmarked car. The police did it.
Could have been
And then there was just that psycho who had like, a shrine to her.
in his backpack. And then also said, I hurt a girl. I hurt a girl.
Yeah.
And it happened. He
Weird,
said that it
isn't it?
happened in that city.
It could just be like a massive coincidence, and there were two people that did it. Like one of them breaks in to do stuff to the girl, poor girl.
Somehow.
Yeah, they fly in, like with the vampire powers or whatever they fucking do.
Wingsuits.
Yeah,
I mean, if it was
Oh,
one of the
shit.
family members and that guy, couldn't he just cover up the footprints?
well, this is the thing. Like maybe the person who bludgeoned their head in left thinking she were dead by flying away. You'll ignore the footsteps for the time being, and then someone thought, "I best strangle her and then cover it up." No, that's not right.
Dead, but I bet it's just yeah.
Oh, but all right. The brother accidentally beats her to death, doesn't know it. Then the dude comes in to do his horrible stuff and thinks he's killed her, and then is like, "Oh, I best strangle her to make sure." And then I don't know.
How old was the brother?
9, I think.
Oh,
Oh.
oh, so brother bludgeons her. Parents like can't let kid take the fall for this.
Can't lose them both.
Yeah, strangles to try and like draw attention away from the bludgeoning, and then does all the note stuff. Hides him in the basement.
Do you know what I
some
love?
Go on.
I absolutely love is you've just described an entire episode of Criminal Minds.
Oh, nice.
That is one of the episodes of Criminal Minds. There's a kid who's got anger issues, and he doesn't like it when his sister touches his stuff, and then she breaks one of his models that he's got, like a model plane or something, that he's like glued up and painted. She smashes it by dropping it, by playing with it. He freaks out and beats her to death, and then his parents find it and cover it up with the help of the police, because their like best mate is the chief of police.
It's a very sensible answer. It just doesn't explain why that guy would go, I hurt a girl.
Maybe I mean they're into the stuff they're into, so they're not fucking right in the heads. Maybe they're just fucking woo.
And he was arrested on unrelated drug charges,
Yeah.
True.
but that was 4 years after the murder.
I'm not laughing at the drug charges. I'm just watching Mr. P.
Eating cake batter.
Yeah.
It's just melted chocolate.
Oh.
I'm jealous. Look at him though, he's loving life.
So was Judge Pudge conversation yesterday.
I wouldn't be loving life if someone kept ejaculating on my food.
Ah, I'm going to watch some more conspiracy videos.
Have I inspired you to look at John Benet Ramsey conspiracy stuff?
Yeah.
Oh, like what's his name? The name I always remember, Luca Magnotta.
Oh, God, you don't like cats, do
There's only one reason why I remember he's got that name.
Luca Magnotta
Exactly.
for the rest of your days.
So
Jesus.
He's on a killing spree.
nice.
I could just switch on Netflix and I'd get, like, conspiracy crime documentaries shot at me. I'm
Yes.
sure there's a new one. There'll be a new one out this week.
Yeah, there is, isn't there? There's one that came out 2 weeks ago.
Is it that hotel one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to watch that.
They watched the first episode and then the rest. That's what I was told to do. Because the first episode, maybe the second as well, concentrates on the woman who went missing and like the case a little more. And then after that, it's all about the internet sleuth who got involved and like what they did and their story, rather than exploring what happened to her.
Like
That is weird though.
the Luca one, where it's like
Yeah, but that one's
the
billed
group
as
of
like
Facebook.
you know going into Don't Fuck with Cats that it's going to be about
Yeah.
like anoraks on Facebook. Like, you know that's what it is. But then when you look at the hotel one, you look at it thinking it's going to be about the hotel and the case and everything. But then it just like suddenly changes. And it's like, no, now we're looking at internet nerds. So I stopped watching it because somebody told me that that's what happens and they hated it after that.
Fair enough. Is that all the conspiracies done?
Yeah, from me.
Nice. That was fun. It gave me goosebumps.
Not fun. I need to know.
Dun, dun, dun,
Time
dun,
machine.
dun.
Dedicate your life to finding out, mate.
I don't have a better to do.
Yeah, next time you do the pod and have video on, you're just going to see newspaper clippings all sellotaped to wall with string and pins everywhere.
Right, shall we
Because
get
I'm always
some-
worried that I'll get too deep into it and then I'll realise I was the one that did it.
Have you ever seen number 23?
Oh god.
No.
Is
That's
that the
based
Jim
on the-
Carrey film?
Yeah, Fingerling. Spoilers, that's the plot for that.
I watched
What?
that very young. I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
Does anyone here watch Memento?
Yeah.
Did he
No.
kill people? Did he kill it? Did he do it? Is that the twist?
I can't remember. I haven't seen it in fucking ages. And it's just Christopher Nolan being a cunt in it.
Has he ever done a good film, Mr. P?
Yeah. Memento. I quite like it.
Should we get on to some wrestling news?
I want to keep talking about this fucking case.
We can do after the pod, alright?
We need more conspiracies.
Conspiracy a week.
The aliens killed her.
With a 2.5 ton stone.
Yeah.
She discovered that pile of glitter that she gave to Santa was the stuff that she discovered the aliens left behind when they made the pyramids. And the aliens were like, shit, we need this. She's onto us.
Oh, makes sense.
It all ties together. And then
When did
Brian
Paul-
died
when
on
did
Family
Paul
Guy.
Walker start acting?
Right. Talking about Paul's, Paul White joins AEW.
And for those of whom who do not know who that is, his stage name is...
The Big Show.
There we go.
Show.
Star of Netflix's greatest show, The Big Show Show. Sadly cancelled.
Think it'll have a revival when they move into AEW?
I'm hoping so.
The revival.
Oh,
They
no.
can't call themselves The Revival, mate.
Oh.
We don't allow that.
Anyway, this is a big shock.
The conspiracy for this is Vince has sent him to take the company down from within.
Oh my god, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, it very just came out of nowhere.
Mm.
Because he's been with WWE since '99.
A while.
In what capacity is he with AEW?
We're not
Is it-
sure.
It said commentator and wrestler on Instagram. So
I mean, when was the last time he did anything resembling not a squash to Brock in?
Saudi, I think. Was he in the Royal Rumble?
Not
I mean,
even
that's
sure.
not really a match, but he did.
When was the last time he had a program with anyone, not just a random
Raw.
match?
Was it Strowman?
Can't
When he
remember.
came back after losing all that weight, you were like,
And then he
I'm
was
the
a
big
heel and a
boy.
face and a heel and a face
yeah.
within the space of a minute.
But yeah, he's unhappy with WWE. They're not doing out with him. And
Oh no, he got kicked in the head, didn't he, by when Randy were doing all this legend killing stuff. Randy
Oh,
killed
yeah.
him in that room with Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels.
Wait,
Yeah.
Night Vision.
Yeah.
So they're all playing Go Fish around a table.
I hate
So
Randy
what?
Orton.
So it's Randy's fault he's left.
yeah, basically.
It'd be interesting to see what they do with it though.
Yeah.
They have been teasing the Shaq Big Show match for like millions of years though. And
Millions
Shaq's
of
working
years.
with AEW at the minute.
He is, isn't he?
So,
It
oh,
could happen. Do you think the Big Show's going to get his own faction like every other returning star to AEW?
no.
No,
Do you think he'll be called the Giant?
something like that.
Like he was in WCW. But I guess they own the rights to that name probably, don't they?
Just the big man. Big boy Paul.
Just big.
The show big.
The show.
The large show.
He's thinking.
The Giant program or something, I don't know.
Anyway, the question mark is dead.
Yeah. Wrestler in NWA, Power, not alive anymore.
What killed him?
Stop raving.
I mean, you had one death and you're not even given any detail.
Can't because he killed him.
What you got now?
Jesus.
Moose.
We're trying to talk about a dead man and you're eating moose. You're swapping your bowls out. You've had a tactical reload on bowls.
What are you shaking your head at? Yeah,
Slap him.
question mark.
Hang on, can you say it's Biscoff in it?
I don't know. Homemade moves, mate. It's nice.
There's an exploding barbed wire death match happening between Kenny Omega and John Moxley. That should be fun. When's
I'm
that
excited
happening?
for that. You don't see that in WWE, do you?
That's the AEW stuff, isn't it?
Yeah.
I watched my first episode the other day with Mr. Pineapple.
You liked it, didn't you?
It was a lot better than pretty much all of the WWE I've seen. A lot more big man doing big flips.
Is that Brian Cage?
It was Adam Page.
Oh, Hangman.
Yeah, Hangman.
When's this exploding barbed wire death match happening?
It's an AEW Revolution in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks' time, I want to say. It's the one where Sting's fighting in his first match back.
Oh, it's actually having a match. Or is it like a... Oh, it's that street fight, is it?
Him and Darby Allin versus Brian Cage and Young Rock, Ricky Starks.
What's the exploding factor going to be?
Bomb.
Oh, bomb. Have we just got barbed wire baseball bats and we're just smacking a bomb to each other?
It'll be like barbed wire board with like C4 and stuff like they used to do in Japan.
Right.
Don't know if you've ever seen any of the deathmatch stuff from Japan.
No.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's mental.
C4.
It's fun though, so should hopefully be blood in that match.
Elimination Chamber happened, didn't it?
It did, and we watched it.
I've got to say, it's probably...
The first one was okay, was it the first one?
The
There were a
first
few
match was
decent
great.
matches,
The first
wasn't
match was really, really good. It was just pointless because of what came after. So that just...
Daniel Bryan getting the egg kicked in.
Yeah.
I mean, almost.
Right.
That was just a really good match, though. Even Baron Corbin didn't bring it down, which I was surprised at.
He got out pretty early. Dickhead.
Cesaro looked great in it, you know?
They keep pushing him as well. I've been seeing
Imagine
on
if
Raw
Raw-
they're actually giving him...
It would have
good
been good.
matches.
It's just a shame the rest of the card happened after that match.
And
Daniel
I went to bed.
Bryan's- Daniel Bryan's got a title match with Roman at Fastlane, I think, as well.
Is it?
Yeah. I'd much rather see a Daniel Bryan versus Edge at WrestleMania than a...
They could do the whole return angle thing. They both came back from injury kind of thing. That'd be
Be a
pretty
lot better.
cool. But it won't happen.
No, definitely not. So, all you want to talk about Elimination Chamber? That
The Miz
match?
one.
Oh, yeah, he did, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then Bobby's got a match against him tomorrow, actually.
Is he going to win, do you think?
They can't. They can't.
Yeah, I think he is.
He's going to, but they can't. The Miz is great.
No, he's a cum. I mean, I know he's acting that out, but
Is he, though?
I mean, exactly. Bobby Lashley's somewhat cool.
And then what would they do?
Happy.
Bobby versus Drew then at Mania.
I'd watch that.
Big boys doing big boy things.
I don't think Drew needs to be in the title shot anymore.
They're going to, though. They're going to do it 2 years in a row because there'll be a crowd this time.
Is there going to be a crowd?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's at Tampa Bay, innit? So, they had a crowd for fucking Super Bowl, didn't they?
no, they didn't have a crowd for that 5 minutes where the Underkeeper just walked around the ring.
We did do that.
That was
Randy Orton's spitting out black goo out
Is
of his
it?
mouth. Yeah.
What?
You see that Asuka got a tooth kicked out the other day
No?
in a match with Shayna and Nia.
Didn't see that
Oh,
coming.
Jesus.
Oh.
Shayna who botched. She just
It was
broke her
Shayna.
face. Well, I'm having
Shock
some of you.
horror.
Shayna's just...
It looked
letting
brutal. She
Nia
looked,
just leak
she looked
all
at
over
it, mate. Finishing rest of match. Like,
Was
it's
it-
crazy.
Was it as good as when Cesaro got his front teeth knocked out?
No, mama.
no, mama.
Fair enough. Have you got any shout-outs or awareness?
I really like Moose.
We can tell, mate. The scraping's going to be in the episode, obviously. That scraping right there. Very nice.
I had one, but I forgot about it.
My brother had COVID. I keep forgetting to mention it.
Which one?
Oliver.
No, we don't care about that one.
He survived. I
Mm,
messaged
okay.
him the other day because I realised I didn't check up on him. I thought,
What a nice brother.
I was like, "Did you die?" You're like, "Nah." I'm like, "Oh, that's a shame."
Kirby get it.
What would you be getting if you died?
Dragon Ball Z cards
Nothing.
anyway.
All the fucking shit he collects. Like that.
Cat food.
Yeah.
Well,
Nothing then. No.
Just shout out to the boys. I mean, thank you for being on the pod.
Yeah. Thank you for
PB
letting
doing all
Mr.
the
Pineapple do
technological
fuck all.
stuff.
I mean,
And Dick, thanks
it's
for
not-
having a wrinkly dick. Means a lot. Makes us feel a lot better about our non-wrinkly dicks.
one day.
Why don't you do a shout for the merch though?
Oh, that's a shout. Out.
Threadler.
Threadless merch. They can't see it, but I mean, this merch isn't from the Threadless one. So we've got two merch stores coming. Well, we're already there, published for everyone to give us money.
No,
One of them
to buy merch.
to support the podcast because we can't keep going if we're not getting money. We need better equipment.
If we don't get the t-shirt money, can't afford the chocolate for Mr. Pineapple's mousse that he needs to eat while we're doing the podcast.
We're
I
all
know,
just
you can hear him scraping it. There's clearly
There's
he
not
needs
left.
more. It's running out.
Moose.
we've got no equipment. We're all just sat around a tape recorder right now, socially distanced.
You're wearing a wire. Get him.
What are you doing? Who's your good boy?
Flipper's here.
Good
So
boy.
every pound of profit will go
There's no
towards
Flipper merch yet.
treats for Flipper.
So, right, we've got a Streamlabs store, which is going to be mainly for the Twitch channel. We're going to be creating products with the Twitch quotes that we've got and stuff like that. There's already a couple of t-shirts up on there. We're going to get our beloved artist, which is ours now, Snips, to keep designing weird fucking designs for us to put on t-shirts and that. I'll get her to do a Grandad Dick and Mr. P one fucking each other and something. I'll get us to do all of us just in a massive orgy.
I can't put that on a t-shirt.
Just get
Oh,
us.
Just blur it out.
Centipede.
Yeah.
Human centipede. Yes.
And then we've got a threadless store, which has mostly the podcast stuff on. Like it's got Oscar Isaac being a fly around some shit. It's got our boy Charlie D, Charles Dance, in a cave. Well, he's not in a cave.
In
It
a
says
cave,
in a
though.
cave. And yeah, others. There's many more to come. We're going to have a Big Boys doing Big Boy Things t-shirt with monsters that represent some individuals. And yeah, been a long time coming.
And you'll find links in the description to both stores.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say shout out to all the new Twitch followers and Facebook followers that we've been getting towards the big number.
We do genuinely appreciate as well. Like,
Yeah,
means a lot.
Yeah, it does.
Why don't you just kiss Jason?
Might do. Oh, Captain, my Captain, if you end up watching this, listening to it.
But yeah. Fuck you, Seaton, I guess.
Okay,
you
so
bastard.
He only followed the other day on Twitch.
He's just a cunt, isn't he?
Yeah.
Right. Stay fresh.
Stay fresh, everyone.
Stay fresh.
Stay fresh.
Take a ride on Tony the Pony. Let's take a ride on Tony the Pony. Let's take a ride on Tony the Pony with Mr. Pineapple. Oh yeah, it's Mr. Pineapple's Wonder Hour.